Okay, there should be music going now, and you should hear our voices shortly.
Hearing stuff. Yeah, I think we're victory.
See, this is how you do the tech check.
That's it, right?
Right at the beginning of the broadcast to make sure.
All right, I'm going to turn it off. Thank you, Last Drive-In, for that. We stole that trick. They do Ernie the Lizard for an hour, and then they crash Shutter, and then they come back with Ernie again for another minute. So, but today's a good day. It's extremely hot. Like, did you know today is... You know what today is, right?
What is today?
Today is Free Slurpee Day. 7-Eleven. The 95th birthday of 7-Eleven.
Slurpees have been around for 95 years.
I don't know if the Slurpees themselves have been around for 90, but it is 7-Eleven's 95th birthday.
How dare they have 7-Eleven on a Modelo Monday?
I think they should have had Modelo flavored Slurpees. You like Slurpees? I like Slurpees.
They're all right.
I think that used to be the only treat before you got into like slushies, slush puppies, and then you had Hawaiian shaved ice, which is the fancier version. But Slurpee was what you used to get in Long Island. So you had, but then they had the soda flavored Slurpees, which is basically an icy, like you get at the theater.
Yeah.
I still get ices at the theater, and I do swirl.
No, ices are legit. Ices are legit. Sometimes I get the Coke cup and get an icy instead.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
All right, there it is.
There we are. Oh yeah, hey, we're here. So yeah, happy birthday to our friends at 7-Eleven. Except now for a free Slurpee, you have to download their app and go to deals to get it. Where before you'd be like, happy birthday, and they'll like have all the Slurpees all.
They've got all kinds of deal apps. Like if you go in there, I think you get a hot dog for $1.
Yeah.
You get a slice of pizza for $1. All you got to do is join the rewards club.
Yeah, they just bribe you with.
So you get a lot of trips to 7-Eleven, which if it makes sense because people probably frequent the 7-Eleven. If you live nearby one, you're probably always there.
It's a grab and go.
Yeah.
I had JJ Coke Cherry Coke's icy. That's the way to go. Oh, we had a disaster almost. So that we were talking about the Gentleman Minions last week.
Uh-huh.
So I did go to Cinemark for the first showing of Thor, and they had Gentleman Minions that were there.
Gentle Minions.
Gentle Minions, yes, Gentle Minions. But they had an icy flavor that was specific to Minions, banana. And I'm like, oh yes, I'm gonna get a banana icy, Minion flavored icy. And of course, I got to the front of the line. They're like, no, we sold out. All the gentle Minions drank all the ices. They drank all the banana icy, so I didn't get to try it. And it's a limited flavor too, so I'm really bummed about
Seems
that.
a bit on the nose that the Minions would be banana flavored. Yeah. You would think they'd maybe just workshop a couple different flavors.
Yeah, maybe they could have just completely made, because Minions aren't
lemon Minions.
Yeah, they could have did lemon, and they're not even a thing. They could have just made their own flavor, like that. The candy that's usually white flavor, like Laffy Taffy, and it's just mystery, and it's white, and you don't know what flavor it is, but it tastes like some kind of fruit that you may or may not be able to identify.
Yeah,
they could have just did that with Minion. It's Minion flavored, because Minion is not a thing, right? Minion is just a follower. But
not a follower anymore. They got their own movies.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they basically hijacked the word so they can. Oh, pineapple Minions would have been good.
Pineapple. See, now you're thinking.
Yeah, that's JJ. That was.
Oh yeah, JJ. Good. Yeah, excellent thought. But yeah, banana. Right on. It's too on the nose.
I think because it's a fun word to say. Although pineapple's a fun word to say. But yeah, it's funny. I was talking to some of my son's friends, and they all had like the stock answer because they all did the gentle Minions. Is it I keep saying it wrong. Gentle Minions.
Gentle Minions.
Gentle Minions. And they all did it. And no matter what,
Wait, your son's friends did the Gentle Minions?
oh yeah, my son did it too.
He did?
Yeah, he did it. And everyone, I was like, so how was it? And they all say, cinematic masterpiece.
Oh, okay. That's why you were putting that on the description.
Yes, cinematic masterpiece. They all had the same answer. And I just couldn't tell if it was funny or if they were trying to be funny or if it really was. But some had rowdier ones. Like no one had a mosh pit. But yeah, we're going to be posting our video of telling Alamo to lighten up because apparently they were getting their reactions in. And it was loud. So if you're going for that silent movie experience, it's not happening in Gentle Minions. Are you going to watch it? Have you watched any of them? I've
never seen any of the Minions. I don't know what they're about. I just know that it's the Minions.
Yeah. It's actually, the early ones were not bad. It's, for a while, DreamWorks was sneaking up on Pixar because DreamWorks was catering. They said, look, we know there's going to be adults watching these movies and they're bringing their kids, so they'd sneak in the adult humor. And that's why Shrek worked. And I think Minions was doing that as well. So, and then they just went away with it for the marketing. But yeah.
Is it too late for me to catch up on Minions?
I think you can literally just jump in and be totally fine.
So that's just, it's amazing though that these TikTok trends take off like that, and they all seem somewhat destructive. Am I wrong about this?
No, there was some destruction that
like
was
they're agents of chaos on TikTok. It's like, hey, wouldn't it be awesome if we all disrupt everybody?
I mean, yeah, it's 2022. All bets are off.
Well, I was telling you too about the TikTok trend where parents are scaring their kids by telling them they got to go fight somebody.
I still can't believe that until you showed it. You have some of that? We should play some of those.
Hold on, let me pull it back up. I lost my thing. But yeah, these people like film their kids and they're like, "Hey, I'm gonna go fight the neighbor. You need to come with me in case the kid wants to fight too." And they totally no sell. Let me see, pull one up.
I think you can really gauge. Like watching them and seeing some of the kids were like, no thought involved. Like, cool, let's go throw hands. And the other ones that were contemplating, like, are we sure that's a good idea?
Hold on, let's get screen share. Boom! Did you see that new?
Oh, that was a nice fight.
This girl, she has a daughter too, and I'm gonna need you to fight her. All right?
Okay. It's strange.
She didn't even think about it.
Weird.
She didn't even think about it. She's ready to throw.
I don't think we get popped for playing these. I hope not.
I don't think so. Yeah, JJ, let us know.
Why not?
This kid's terrified.
Yeah, he's like, he's
going to be scarred from this.
Well, he actually specifically called somebody out. Like, is it going to be so and so?
He's seen them arguing before.
Someone else's Thea. Yeah. So I need you to help me fight in case. She brings her nephew. I need you to fight him.
I can't.
Why not?
I'm unable to target.
I need you to put your shoes on.
Yeah,
it's just strange. It's just strange, and like people are just doing it, and it's just like,
oh, this girl. Yeah, she showed me this one. She just puts her hair up like right away. At first, she's like, thought like, oh, we're gonna ask you to do a chore, but then she's like, we're gonna fight. She put her hair up like she's ready to throw hands.
Podcats here. Look at this. This kid is terrified.
I know. I'm sorry, but she's like, oh. She just wants to be in bed. She's playing with her tablet, and next thing you know, you're gonna tell me I gotta go fight.
Go fight the neighbor. I don't know, man.
Podcat ready to throw paws all day. I want to fight this guy. Yeah, look at this guy. Oh man, I don't know. It is like it's coming off as very, very destructive. What do you mean? This is worse than to me that I ate all your Halloween candy.
Was that a trend?
Yeah, they would hide the kids' candy. And then the parents go up and said, sorry, we ate all your candy. And their reaction was pretty much a lot of this raw reaction.
Are you going to fight? Are you scared? You going to win?
And they're not super funny.
No.
These aren't like super hilarious.
No.
slightly disturbing.
Is this the modern day version of, remember, are we allowed to say his name? The former America's Dad that was on Thursday night, Must See TV. Kids say the darndest things. You remember that?
No, yeah, I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. Is this the modern day version of this?
I guess.
Oh, Podcat. You're coming up all the way up. Oh, because
New on CBS, challenge kids to a fight. See if your kids will get into a fight or not. And that's, I guess, if the kid accepts the fight, then they win money and prizes.
Yeah, but this feels This feels like somewhat like Gattaca or something. Like this is how you're going to find out the type of human beings that before they've already been nurtured into it. You just put them in a very fight or flight situation, and I feel like that's how they're going to separate kids. It's like, okay, this one didn't even think about it, so we need this one for the military, right? Because they're going to be like, you're going to take orders, you're going to just boom. Like, isn't there some psychological? That's the whole thing about. I was not in the military. The whole breakdown because they need you not to think about it in the heat of battle. And I feel like the parents are doing that.
So when you're joining the military, they're gonna look up your parents' old TikToks.
Exactly.
How did you guys react to the TikTok challenge from 2022? Where they see if you were gonna fight.
When you said earlier when you were talking about, did you see the TikTok challenge? I thought for sure you were gonna show me that one where they put their foot on the wall and then they flip over, but then somehow it turns into a twerk, but I couldn't tell if they were just adding that twerk in. But it says it's harder than it looks, and I don't even know what it's called. Oh, I thought she was chewing on the cable.
Sorry, I just pulled up a Gentle Minions video, seeing what that was all about.
Yeah, did you see? There was one that it was like it was almost like a riot in the front of the theaters.
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Why? Because the movie was so great.
Cinematic.
Wait, does this have music?
Oh yeah, there's a little bit of music.
Oh, all right, gotta do that. Can't do that. I'll turn it down.
Oh yeah, we can play without the sound because you get the. Well, she's laying on the keyboard. Can you go to the close up?
Oh yeah.
She lined up perfect too. Banana 10 must watch. The anticipation was. It's just so hard to predict what everybody's gonna catch. What's gonna. Because there's things out there you're like that look like clever, and like it never goes anywhere. Like what made this catch on? I think it's great. Like Mike said, it's. I think you could end up creating the next Rocky Horror Picture Show where you basically have midnight showings of the Minions when this generation is like in their late 20s and 30s, and they just show up and do it just like the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Or
will it though?
Is it just gonna die?
They're kind of just doing a bit.
Yeah,
it's not. Nobody loves Minions that much. Nobody actually loves Minions that much. It's kind of a bit, right?
It's got it, yeah. Well, because they just I can't believe Sony kind of fell for it because they just got played on It's Morbin time when they took over the Morbius trend, and they made that trend of It's Morbin time. So then Sony did the re-release.
Who is running the Sony movie department over there?
I don't know. Somebody who has no understanding of movies and quality control.
It was like the former head of the Sony Walkman division. After that got dissolved, he got put in charge of the films.
Who knew that Tina Fey, Liz Lemon, had it right on the head when the Jack Donaghy character on 30 Rock, when he took over the studio, he says, I'm in charge of entertainment and microwaves because GE had bought them.
And he was way prouder of the microwaves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Sony.
That's a terrible thing to try and trend. It's Morbin time.
Yeah.
When they know nobody liked that movie.
No, I can't believe it's getting. I feel like it's getting more hated by the day. I saw it, but I just had no idea it was going to be this hated. It really threw me for a loop because I'm a fan of the Morbius character. But then again, have you heard what they're doing with Kraven, the Hunter?
They're gonna babyface him.
They're gonna Kraven the Hunter is, he hunts wild game and he has like a lion's pelt.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like the defender of nature in this. He's gonna be the animal protector.
Tarzan.
Yeah, he's going to be a protector, not a hunter. So I don't know
what for. Like, why do you change that?
I don't know. I don't know. What is the deal with turning these anti-heroes such babyface? Like, you realize that you can still like a character, and they can still be true to their comic roots. Because Venom kind of did that. Venom was more babyface than he ever was in the comics. And they kind of did it with Morbius, and now they're going to be doing it with a hunter who's going to become an activist. He's going to be a Kraven the woke hunter.
Wasn't he supposed to hunt Spider-Man?
Yeah, that's
now
why
he hunts oppression.
Yeah,
he hunts injustice.
He demands justice.
That line's going to be in the movie.
Yeah,
I should trademark that.
They're going to be in trouble, right? Do you think they're done after this? Right? If this doesn't work. What do? They have Into the Spider-Verse, so they can keep their animated, but are they going to have to crawl back to Marvel one more time and say, you're right, we can't do it without you? Or are they going to just run into the ground and they don't care because corporate?
I mean, they'll do both. Because they got, either way, no matter what, they have to keep cranking out movies.
Yeah.
If they stop cranking out movies, then they lose the rights.
They lose the rights. Man, what a crazy contract. This reminds me of the scene of Lost. Like, you got to press this button every 122 seconds or else something's going to explode. Like, you have to be making something at all times that involves one of these characters or else you automatically lose. So they must have like a Spider-Man clock that like they have running at Sony Studios to show like, okay, do we have something in pre-production right now just to make sure? Although they mapped out the entire Spider-Verse, which is their MCU, and it's pretty terrifying to think that. Have they had a real success yet?
Have you ever seen that movie about the Roger Corman Fantastic Four movie?
No, you told me about it though.
So yeah, because they actually made an entire Fantastic Four movie just to hold on to the rights that they never had any intention of releasing.
Of ever releasing it?
Yeah.
What is the deal with corporations, man? I feel like how many problems do you trace back to corporate in this country? Right? Look at the cat pecs. Can she bounce her cat pecs? Uh-oh. She's about to be NSFW. I thought she was going to do the full turn. Cats go to keyboards. And I think it's my bad because I actually have a keyboard right here.
Cats try to mimic whatever you're doing, and Podcat sees me using the keyboard quite often. So she's like, oh, yeah, keyboards. I know what these are. You're supposed to lay on them.
Yeah, I wonder if you can just literally just let her... You should have the... Maybe we should just leave the camera on and just see how often Podcat walks by, if there's a key. Or do you have to be there? Oh, now she's leaving. Sorry, I didn't mean to make fun of all your gimmick. All right, you want to break into a snack?
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we got to do the snack time gimmick.
Oh, we got a snack time gimmick?
Yeah.
All right.
Give it like an introduction. Just be like, hey, it's snack time.
It is. So before we get into our Modelo, she's talking down the machine.
She's imitating you because she's like, oh, okay, they're using the microphone. I'm going to try and use the microphone too.
So today is the return, the triumphant return of Modelo Monday because of extreme Texas heat and Monday and vacations. So we thought we'd start to tickle our taste buds to kind of get our thirst.
Work up a thirst.
Yeah, work up a thirst. So we were going to go for some snack time.
Snack time gimmick.
Snack time gimmick.
I worked on this for hours.
I love it. I think it's great. The music, the flossing with the bamboo. Man, yeah, no, I that was well worth it. It's terrifying to think of like how big those teeth are and how gentle that looks, but how easily your bones would crush.
And they're also expert martial artists.
Yeah, who knew?
They're dangerous animals.
Yes, because not only can they bite you, they can fight you. I'm a panda. You can fight and you can bite. So, all right. We are going back to the well of, I guess, apparently, H-E-B is a potato chip innovator. They had some cotton candy ones, and didn't we have Mexican hot chocolate was another flavor that we had. All these flavors that you didn't realize how good they were. And then we tried the chips, and they were great, even though on paper. So, unlike Sony, hats off to the marketing geniuses and the Imagineers in the potato chip division of H-E-B that came up with 2 more fantastic flavors. So we'll start with one that's kind of relevant to what we did last week in honor of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. H-E-B has fried corn dog and mustard flavored chips. Right there.
Pull it closer to you. It'll be more in focus. The more closer to
right
you,
there.
hopefully hold it to you. There you go.
Just
There you go. And it should work on the close-up cam too.
yeah, I wasn't sure. Yeah, let's go down here.
No gluten, so that's good.
Oh, why is it in Spanish at the bottom?
Because it's from H-E-B, man.
Oh, they got a little bit of both? So this is basically how my mom used to talk to my grandmother. It's just like, was that English or Spanish? Stop. Both.
At the same time. You learn to understand both at the same time. Working backwards.
Again, but these are great. This is part of their...
What is the flavor again?
This is fried corn dog and mustard flavored. It's part of their carnival flavors. Baron, so
There's more carnival flavors coming?
Yeah, we got...
Oh, wait, we have 2.
Yeah, we have 2 here, so... I'm going to bust this sucker open right now.
Wait, hold it up again one more time,
One
just
more.
in the wide shot. We can get a thumbnail out of this. Hold it in the middle of the... No, you put it in the center of the shot there.
Wait, in front of me? Like that?
That's pretty good. Now do it off to the side. Get the other side. In that empty space. That's it.
Oh,
Perfect.
that's the space.
There you go. Now look at the chips and look like,
yeah.
oh my, you can't believe what you're about to eat. See, yeah, now the YouTube algorithm's going to love that. Okay, that's good.
All right. All right, so this is the space.
Yes, that's the space where you put stuff.
All right. The space between our wicked lies. Here we go. Pop. Oh, yeah, we already got a winner. I'll pour you some here in a bowl. Here, you want to go into the close-up cam here. Get you a little pour. Wait, am I going the wrong
Yeah,
way?
you're going the wrong way.
All right. Podcat moved my shot. There we go. So nothing really out of the ordinary when you look at them, but let's taste them. All right, let me bring these over to you. Here I come.
All right.
All right.
Wait, you just tried one.
I did.
What are your initial thoughts? What do you think?
So I couldn't resist because there was one that looked like it was about to fall, so I instinctively picked it up, saved it, and eated it, and it's great. Oh, JJ said we need to try. There's a Pringles from Hot Ones, so we got to put that on our list. We'll get RJ on the hunt. He's the one that hunts down a lot of our food too. These are fantastic. Low key, I don't know if you've ever done this, but mustard on pretzels, like you can't lose. Whether they're hard pretzels or soft pretzels, you got to get mustard. And you're getting a lot of the, and this isn't the spicy mustard. This is like the yellow mustard that you would put like on a carnival dog. What do you think?
It's got.
You taste hot dog?
I don't taste the hot dog. Well, is that what I'm tasting? Am I tasting a hot dog in this? It's got something on the end of it that I'm not sure what it is.
Is it the corn? The cornmeal?
Like, I feel like it might be like a tang. Like they're trying to imitate a mustard tang, but it's a little barbecue-ish.
Oh, you're right. There is barbecue in there.
It's interesting.
Wow. I dig them. But if you were at a barbecue and you're eating hot dogs, you're going to want to eat hot dog chips with these.
How'd you like to make a potato chip sandwich out of these?
Oh my God. That's great. Because you would use the hot dog bun.
Use the hot dog one.
Yeah. Let's do some ASMR. These are, I didn't know these were made in San Antonio. What is it with HEB?
What do you mean? What do you mean? What about HEB?
I think HEB should run for governor.
I agree. I'd vote for him. Just the actual store?
Yeah. I think they take care of Texas more than any entity that I've ever seen.
HEB for president. Let's start the campaign for the next election cycle.
I dropped one. I think that's a great idea. Well, remember Wayne Wikipedia? He was on last week, but he's the one that told me that he sees HEB trucks rolling up before he sees FEMA trucks rolling up anytime there's a disaster in Texas.
100%. I mean, when the, we've had multiple disasters. Absolutely, HEB for president.
Yeah.
We've had multiple disasters in the past few years, and at each disaster, they were right there at the forefront.
Yeah. I don't think there's any store that does anything like this for their home state in the country. And let us know in the comments if there's another store we're not aware of. But, I mean, our claim to fame in Long Island is Pathmark was like, oh, yeah, the spokesman was in Return of the Living Dead.
Wait, which guy was it?
He's Burn to Flames.
Oh.
Can we play? We can probably play an old Pathmark commercial, right?
Probably. Let me look at, what is it called again?
Just Pathmark. So Pathmark.
Okay, talk about it while I look it up.
So Pathmark, we have our retro review. It's going to drop this week, but we talked about it live last week. We went and saw Return of the Living Dead. Some people call it the best zombie movie. Some people call it the second best zombie movie. It's definitely the most innovative zombie movie since Night of the Living Dead because it actually introduced you to running zombies and comedy. Let's see if you can find the spokesman. So he was the spokesman.
Look for this circular in Sunday's paper.
There he is.
Oh, yeah.
The
legend.
A half-gallon Tropicana orange juice, $1.39. A dozen Pathmark large.
This was your grocery store then as a kid.
Yeah.
Pathmark premium ice cream.
This was our HEB, except they weren't there if there were disasters going on.
Where you're the one
You were
who's
just
number
screwed.
one 24 hours a day.
Yeah. That's it. Claim to fame. Does HEB have anyone that's like 69 cents.
Nice.
Nice. Has it like there's a lot of people that I feel like have you see a lot of commercials, a lot of local actors. Has anybody started off in an HEB commercial and then broke out and like turned out to be on like Dawson's Creek later on?
I can't think of anyone. It's possible. I mean, they've done lots of commercials with the Spurs.
And props to the
they've gone through many evolutions too. HEB. There's been many HEB sort of like betas.
I like this new HEB. Again, they're like an entity. How nice is the HEB Center in Cedar Park?
It's pretty nice. Great,
I
great
feel
wrestling
like,
venue.
Yeah, I feel like once they took it over, it became a whole new beast. All right, I gotta move to the next chip because I'm eating all the hot dog chips. You guys
Final
want some
thoughts on
hot
fried
dogs?
corn dog and mustard.
Very good, but nothing. If they were in a bowl, I would mix these with sour cream and onion, and that would be my way of garnishing the corn dog to make it feel like a Chicago dog.
Yeah, I tell you what though, I am kind of partial to French fries with mustard. You know?
Oh yeah,
I could use a straight up mustard chip. They make those.
just mustard. I think this is so far as we need to talk to Imagineers at HEB and let them know. Like, I think they can do it.
Just mustard. I mean, it's got to be easier than have. They could just remove the corn dog portion.
So you don't really like corn dogs?
No, I like corn dogs, but I could go for just mustard only.
Just mustard.
Yeah.
I've seen pickle flavored
Pickles out there, limes out there.
limes out there.
Yeah.
All right, well, get ready because we're about to take it to the next level. Going up, because this next one is not something that you would expect a flavored chip to be. This one, from the Carnival Flavors Edition, is mixed berry lemonade flavor chips. What is this? Is this like powdered drink or is it chips?
Look into the camera. There you go. See? They're great. Algorithm will love that. I bet you YouTube will select that as the thumbnail.
We should start making bets. Like say it was like, all right, was that a thumbnail? Because yeah, some of them you're like, really? Did you come up? All right, one more hot dog one. All right, I'm gonna pop this one open. Mixed berry lemonade flavored.
You know, it's a shame I don't have any bread because it would be cool if we made sandwiches out of these, and that would be the true test.
I would do it. I might have to get you a new bowl. Oh my god!
Hey, I'll just come grab some.
All right, because this smells like. Spoiler alert! I wish YouTube was smell-o-vision, because guess it smells like Frankenberry. It smells like Frankenberry. Oh, all right. All right, just do that. Yeah, you can do it, or I'll eat these hot dog chips, and they're wavy, so they're Ruffles. Ruffles has ridges. They're like Ruffles. Sorry. All right, that was the last one.
Whoa.
Luchelati's gonna be like, you ate all the chips.
No, she buys these specifically for us to
All
try
right,
to
cool.
see if they would be edible. You
All
try
right.
them first.
I'm gonna put one on the close-up cam so you can see the ridges. See those ridges? They didn't go with the pink, so that's probably for the best. All right, let's see. Oh my god!
It tastes like cereal.
It tastes like cereal. It tastes more like cereal than I expected.
It literally tastes like Fruity Pebbles or a chip.
Yeah, this is Fruity Pebbles. That's it. Wow. But do you like them?
I'm undecided.
But I can't stop eating them. But then again, I went to Cracker Barrel once. Shout out. I ate the meal, and I think it was bad. Like something wasn't right. I'm like, there was something not right about that meal. So it was a wrestling road trip. They're like, well, let's tell the manager. I was like, yeah, that meal was terrible. Like, which meal? I was like, the one I ate. It's like, you ate the whole thing. It's like, yeah, but it was bad. It's like, the plate is empty. What do I even tell them? I was like, I don't know. I just thought you should know. Like, okay, you still got to pay for this because you ate the whole thing.
I didn't like it, though.
It's like, why am I not happy about this? Are you seeing, do you see pink dust?
Let's see. Put in the close-up. Get a bigger chip in there.
Yeah, let me try a bigger one here. I mean, I guess you see a little bit of it.
Definitely see dust.
This one definitely tastes more like cereal. Oh, so the sopapilla chips, I feel like felt a little bit more natural than these do. Like, these aren't bad, but these taste more like you took the bottom of your Fruit Loops where you got those little bit of dust and then you didn't clean your cereal bowl and then you poured a bunch of Ruffles in there. And it tastes like that. Where the sopapillas felt like, I don't know, maybe it's because of the potato consistency. It's close enough where, like, when you do the sopapillas with honey, it kind of had this. This is just cereal with chips.
I like them more now. Yeah, these are good.
Here would be interesting.
Absolutely nothing wrong with this. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this.
These are so close to being cereal. The test would be, could you pour this in a bowl, pour milk on top of it, and eat them like cereal?
I don't have milk, so don't think about it.
What's up, Lee? No, it's today's Modelo Monday, but we're trying to work up our thirst, so we started off eating some chips. So to sum up, these are the Carnival Edition HEB. We got fried corn dog with mustard. We give a thumbs up.
There's a thumbnail.
Yep. And then we got mixed berry lemonade flavor chips. You'd be like,
did we like it? Question mark.
That's the rating.
I'll add an arrow in there, pointing at the bag.
That's the rating. But either way, you can't stop eating them, and I don't know if that's just the science behind potato chips. Do you want me to keep a bag over there next to you?
No, I got plenty now.
Oh, good.
Now
All
that
right.
Lee's on, we should talk about the boys finale.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about the boys.
Lee's a major boys fanatic as well.
Oh, mango Modelo. Yeah, that would be good. Well,
I got one of those.
yeah, we're gonna drink some, but let's go into the boys first. The Boys season 3 finale. First reaction.
Like first reaction, like right out of the theater.
Like right when you saw it.
Well, first, I mean, okay. I'm not gonna lie. I was slightly underwhelmed. Underwhelmed a little bit. I think that it was a great build, but it didn't feel like the blow-off match.
The week before did, right?
The two prior episodes, or the Hero-gasm episode, felt like the blow-off match.
Oh, you're right. Because that was the big battle. Do you think this had something to do with what we were talking about, he who should not be named? That should not be named. The asterisk of like having to shoot within very specific confined areas. Did that interfere with like Maeve versus Homelander, the two strongest heroes in the 7? Should have basically had a battle that would have looked like Zack Snyder's Superman versus General Zod, but it turned into like a fight in an office.
They do very little damage to the office around him. It's the complete opposite of Zack Snyder, where buildings are literally toppling over as they punch each other, and they're sort of like, yeah, they're just doing. They look like they're doing, like they're sparring, or they're doing like some karate moves.
Yeah, and I feel like the Hero-gasm, as Lee put it, they literally went off too soon. I feel like that one had a way more aggressive fight.
100%, and it had an unpredictable finish. It had the what is it called? Had the false finish we wanted.
Oh, it had
kept
a
us in it.
big false finish because I think out of all the episodes, that one got me the most. That I was like, because you just feel like Homelander is that scumbag heel that is going to always find a way to still get over. And that for that one split second, and hats off to Anthony Starr, because that was all in the performance. When he was in the ground and they were pushing his head down, and and Huey was there too. All three of them were holding him down, and you felt like he was about to lose, and he literally had a powder, get the hell out of there. That was the only time you felt like they might actually be able to pull this off. Like, I didn't feel like Maeve was going to be able to beat him in that last fight. Maybe that's why. Because that was the only time he literally seemed like he was in danger.
Yeah, definitely. And then we sort of got the swerve with Ryan being there, and then Butcher and Homelander kind of team up for a second.
Yeah.
Which I could have done without, but it felt... I mean, the season's great. The whole season as a package, awesome. Best show on TV. I think this finale, it was a little unsatisfying. It felt a lot like just a build for next season, which is fine. So if you consider Herogasm the blow off, and then the subsequent 2 episodes are sort of like just the build to the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it left me, but still great.
Yeah, oh no, yeah, hands down it was great. You're right, maybe an epilogue after Herogasm, that could have been the finish for the season.
Well, Lee said he thought he saw Herogasm was the finale when he saw it.
Oh, really?
He was like, that was a great finale. Because
Well, I mean, rightfully so, because again, that was the one that he felt like he was in the most danger. Are you surprised that, again, and I don't read any of the comics, so I don't know, that Soldier Boy didn't... I guess, should we throw a spoiler alert up? I guess we already kind of said. Got to get the most.
is that obnoxious? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Was that over the top? I can never tell. That Soldier Boy survived, and they put him back on ice. Did you see that coming?
I didn't see it coming, but I get it story-wise. But it was just not the finish I would have liked.
I think Jensen Ackles did so great as Soldier Boy. I'm really glad that they did not get rid of douchebag Captain America. I like that he's around. I like the dynamic of, like, they had the Luke, I am your father moment with someone like Homelander, and then, like Lee said, is he going to turn into Homelander, or is he eventually going to be the one that takes home? Homelander can't survive this, right? Does he survive this? Before the series done, do we see Homelander go down?
You would think he would, but what if he doesn't?
Because you feel like they're setting up for Butcher's not going to make it. He will sacrifice himself if he has to make sure. Do they have the Van Helsing Dracula moment where they both go like hurtling into the sun?
Well, I mean, I don't think that would kill him anyway. But no, Lee's right. Don't you think Butcher's going to go full V? No more temp V?
Oh yeah, I think he has to, right? But I think they're going to milk that a little bit, right?
Yeah, they'll milk it, but I think that's going to be the solution in the end. And then, they keep Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is alive, so they still have somebody that can remove people's powers.
Yeah.
Maybe now our government was going to try, or the Vought is going to try and harness that weapon.
Yeah. I can see that, right? Because now that they got him back under their control.
Oh, but let me just say this. Even though I thought the final fight was underwhelming, the last scene just totally put it over.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah, tell them about that scene. I don't want to. You're talking about the.
Yeah, when he goes to the Homelander rally.
Oh my God! Yeah.
And the guy throws some garbage at Ryan, and then he just lasers his head. And then everybody cheers for him. And that's the cutaway. I was like, oh man, that's kind of perfect.
Yeah, they had that radicalized moment that he realized, wait, I already said what I felt and they liked me more for it. Now I did what they want and I got a pop. Oh, it's on now. And then I saw a great comparison, a classic horror movie, Gregory Peck, I believe, right? The Omen. Was he The Omen? Gregory
I think
Peck?
so.
But that last scene when Damien turned around and gave that little sly smile, basically that was Ryan, right? You saw a little smile on his face when he realized that this garners a reaction.
Not a full heel smile though.
But enough that it'd be like, this is kind of cool.
There was a hint of a smile. I think that'll be a back and forth next season. Is Ryan going to turn heel or not?
I still don't know. Why did Butcher give Ryan the Harry and the Hendersons?
He was wigging off V, right?
Yeah,
Was his temper was all screwed up because of the temp V.
Because he's just like, go away. Like, he gave him the Harry and the Hendersons. Of course the kid's going to turn on you.
Can't you see we don't want you anymore?
Go! Go! I think that was a mistake. I always thought that was a mistake. When the minute he did that, I was like, oh, he shouldn't have done that. He just,
I think that was a side effect of the V.
Yeah.
He just blew up.
Sorry, I'm putting these chips away.
Which ones are getting you, the lemonade or the fried mustard?
Well, they were both. So I got the mustard, and I was like, I need to change the flavor. So then I went to the lemonade. So now I'm going to go to water. But what's next? So that was a great ending, like you said. I felt like Maeve, this was their way of basically tucking her away, right? I don't know if she's going to have any kind of... She can go away for good, and it really won't matter, right? She's not going to get back in the fight.
They might have written her out of the show. There's not really a lot they can do with her. I think she's kind of like done her storyline. They didn't kill her off, so there's always the possibility they'll bring her back. They're not going to close that loop, but I think she's probably gone.
I think she's gone. Yeah, I felt like that was the end. And then Ashley is the girl who pulls her hair out, and ends up that she hardly has any hair because she pulled it all out. Is that her name, Ashley?
Yeah, Ashley.
She deleted the footage to show that, when they showed somebody helping Maeve, that she did survive.
So he can't find out. So Homelander wouldn't find out.
I was trying to go back through and look for the original 7. So we have Homelander, Maeve, The Deep, A-Train, Translucent, Starlight, Black Noir, that was it. And the Translucent is the one that Huey blew up by sticking the explosive up his butt, and that's who. So who did Starlight replace? She replaced one.
Who did she replace? I don't remember.
But it wasn't one of the...
Lamplighter.
Lamplighter, that was it. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about that storyline. But how crazy it is that we were talking about this before we rolled, that the two best comic adaptations into a streaming show have nothing to do with DC and Marvel, with the other one being the Umbrella Academy. But The Boys is taking it to a whole nother level. And here's the thing, Seth Rogen has done this before. He did Preacher, which was on AMC, and I liked Preacher. Preacher was solid, but it's nothing in the league like of The Boys. Like, this is in the zeitgeist. People know Homelander. They created something that is recognizable. And when Cody Rhodes came out in that gear, everyone's like, Homelander. You didn't get that with Preacher. Seth Rogen has his finger on the pulse of the nerds.
Well, that's why everybody wanted him to turn heel, and he got his feelings hurt.
Yeah.
It's like, you're wearing a heel outfit, dude. Do you not watch the show? Did you just see the memes?
But then who was right? Because then he went to WWE, and he was their number one guy, or is, I guess, while he still heals. But what do you think about the storyline with The Deep?
I think they're gonna have to also give him something to do or kill him off. They won't kill him off because he's comic relief.
Yeah.
But I think they've done as much as they can possibly do of just beating to death how much of an idiot he is.
Yeah.
That's kind of been his gimmick now for the last 2 seasons. It's good, but you might want to just give him something to do.
Or now he talked him into treason, and he killed the vice president, or the vice president, the guy who's running for vice president, right?
So you think Homelander's going to run for president? Yeah.
I think it's going to be Homelander for president, right?
I think that's what's coming.
The head popper. They never said if she could pop Homelander's head, right? He said, "Why don't you try it?" And she didn't even try it. Now she did do it. She made Starlight's nose bleed, but we haven't seen her pop any hero heads, right?
I mean, she popped a lot of heads in that courtroom. I swear there were some heroes in there.
Yeah.
But Homelander being like Superman level, I don't know.
Maybe she wouldn't be able to pop his head.
We don't know yet.
But it seems like they had that uneasy alliance and they went with it. So he would be the president and she would be the vice president.
No, she's running for vice president with that other guy, Dakota Bob or whatever.
Yeah, Dakota Bob.
Homelander would run against them.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, he would be the opponent there.
But she's the one that gave Homelander how to find Ryan, right?
But they're not working together.
So it's an uneasy alliance.
Yeah, she pretty much calls that out in the barn scene where she gives him the address.
Got it.
It's like, this is a transactional relationship only.
Oh, got it. Okay. What do you feel about the A-Trace storyline, man? This stuff, unfortunately for us in this reality, although CERN turned their super glider back on, so we might have got the donkey wheel back on. We'll see. But there's a lot of rip from the headline stuff. Like that gunpowder stuff was rough. And then A-Train with his, what's his name? The Blue
Hawk.
Blue Hawk. That scene was beyond graphic, man. When he drug him up the street.
Yeah, man. I mean, they're doing,
That's ripped from the headlines.
Absolutely. And like, folks, did you hear, like, folks are just starting to realize that it's roasting everything. Yeah. It's taken 3 seasons before folks have caught on that it's just roasting the hell out of all of the folks that are into the politicals. Yeah. The political arena, political circus. Yeah, that's right. So, like, because, you had a very clear allusion to the whole Capitol Stormers Trump thing at the very end. They even had the dude in the buffalo horns.
Oh, yes, they did.
Vought.
Yep.
Homelander's very much now turning on the media and calling them heels.
Yeah. That's just amazing that people can watch that. And do they not draw does that mean the people, there's a segment of the audience that doesn't like the show? Or do you think they see themselves as the good guys and they're thinking Homelander is making fun of their perceived enemies?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how folks are not seeing the satire in there. But one thing that occurred to me was, if you think about it, the whole thing is this superheroism in the show is just a stand-in for celebrity. Yeah. And it's really about how people worship and fawn over celebrity, and people like lust for that kind of celebrity power. And so that's why they're kind of turning Homelander into a presidential candidate now.
Homelander
He's going to run on his celebrity.
We want ATV for president. They want Homelander for president. But I think you're right. I think comics had to go in this direction. I think it was inevitable to go into this direction. I think you're going to find it struggling to have these fantastical stories when we live in a world filled with fantastical stories that don't have the joy attached to them, but they're still outlandish. You know what started a couple of years ago when it got to the point where you couldn't tell an Onion article from a legitimate news source article when you would just be scrolling. You didn't realize it was... Remember that hashtag, not the Onion? I think The Boys has turned into that, of like ripped from the headlines, hero.
Well, they take things directly from the headlines. I mean, they're not hiding it at all. I think it's just a superhero wrapper, Yeah. But what was your question again?
No, I was just saying that. Yeah, it's I think this is the evolution of this type of entertainment that involves superheroes, that you have to start getting these deeper stories, and you might have to modify a little bit, that it might not be as true to the source materials, because again, it has a lot to do with like the most successful comic shows are very violent too, again, and that goes to Umbrella Academy and The Boys, where they show what would really happen if somebody is strong enough to punch your head off.
Well, in The Boys, they just blow everybody up.
Yeah.
There's like everyone is just exploding guts.
Yeah.
That's pretty much everyone's power, is to turn someone into exploding guts.
Yep, and Umbrella Academy is very similar. Not as exploding guts, but they're not afraid to throw an axe at somebody for sure. So back to just the story narrative itself. Are we going to get The Boys, the gang, The Boys, which has 2 girls, Kimiko and now Starlight? Do they all go full V2, or is anybody gonna not be powered? Huey went powered, but now he seemed like he changed his mind and doesn't want to go powered anymore.
I mean, it seems like Frenchie and Mother's Milk are pretty much against it.
Yeah.
I don't think they would do it, but definitely Butcher, possibly Huey. You could see Huey taking the Temp V again. Remember, he finds a vial at the very end, so he's got a stash.
Yeah. And he didn't use it, right? He just
So he's got a stash of the Temp V just in case of an emergency, and if he uses it again, he could go into fatality
mode. How come Frenchie didn't have any heat when Kamiko went back full V? He didn't have any heat with her.
Well, she explained it to him.
So that was, I guess, because she was, that's how he kind of found her. But they had heat with Butcher when he did it.
No, she wrote that whole long letter to Starlight where she was saying, she was like explaining that she needs her powers back. She realizes that she needs her powers back because remember, she kills a bunch of folks even without her powers.
Yeah.
So she realizes, oh, I'm a killer. I am a killer. I was trained to be a killer.
Yeah.
And then like she realizes that without her powers, she can't protect the folks she wants to protect.
Okay.
So she tells Starlight, like, I'm choosing to do it. Last time it wasn't my choice. This time I'm choosing to get my powers back.
What a great character she is. I think she's really good. I think it's music that makes you were talking about, we'll get into a little bit, Thor being the needle drop. Umbrella Academy's big for their big musical scenes but how did you not pop with the Flashdance Maniac scene when she put on those headphones and with that music going? Yeah,
that was good. Very, very Tarantino-esque music drop. I'm into it. I mean, I like the 80s pops.
That was good. But she, I popped big for the dance number that she did with Frenchie. And it just like the way they really got into it. That was another one of my favorite scenes. That was a couple episodes before Herogasm, right? That was such a good scene. I like when a show is like kind of serious and kind of rough, but then all of a sudden they'll throw a musical number in there like that. And it's funny, we were talking about how is Joker going to be a musical. I feel like it's going to look a little bit like this.
Yeah, with like fantasy sequences.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, probably
it has to go the fantasy route. So I don't know. I haven't heard. Obviously, they're going to renew for season 4. I don't know how long it's going to take them to shoot.
They're shooting it like at the end of the month.
Really?
Yeah, they're jumping right into it.
So they won't go more than a year.
Yeah, it'll probably be next year.
Is that like the standard now? Is it like for a year?
I mean, it takes at least a year to make anything.
That's right.
To make and something of that size, it'd probably take longer. But who knows if they already had been working on it, pre-visualizing. They got plenty of exploding guts effects they can reuse.
Yeah, that'll just keep going back and using them.
They probably just have those built. They're like, what happens to this guy? His guts explode. What about this guy? His guts explode.
Oh, man. One thing that the boys did do for me is I'm back on the same train as you, that I'm okay that we don't get them all at once because it goes by so fast. When you do, it goes by so fast.
Yeah.
And you don't get to really like drink it in like you normally would if you were getting those 1 drops per week. So I kind of like the idea where it premieres and then you're going to get like 3 episodes, like plop, here you go. This will hold you over. And then we'll ease in, because when you see all episodes now streaming, you know it's over. And I saw that when I turned my TV on and it said The Boys, all episodes now streaming. I knew it was over at that moment.
Yeah.
I knew it was done. Where I binged Umbrella Academy and it took about a week. And I was doing like 1 episode a day.
Are those an hour?
Yeah. Yeah, they're close to an hour. I did it and it was over in a week. And then I just like it's funny. This whole content avalanche and all this, I realized that I watched the finale of Stranger Things, The Boys, and Umbrella Academy, all these 3 shows that are like you look forward to all year long, and they all just converged all at once. But it's just over so fast when you get them all at once. You just like blaze through, and there's like more aggressive streamers than bingers than me. Like there's probably some people that were done within like 2 days, and then they just stayed up and watched them all, and they made YouTube videos with all the deep dives and stuff. And you're like, wow, you didn't really even get to drink it in.
I think it works better for me as well because I don't feel the need to try and catch up on things. Like if you're binging something and there's 12, 13 hours of it ahead of you, you're just kind of likely to not come back.
Yeah.
Whereas if you watch the first couple and that's all there is, and they start dropping once a week, it's easier to keep up.
Yeah, I agree.
Because for the life of me, I cannot keep up with Stranger Things. It's too much at once.
Yeah.
The last season was 13 hours, right?
Yeah.
It's just too much of something all at once.
You're gonna be happy when you do it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Wikipedia Wayne tells me all the time. It's like, I cannot believe you have not watched Supernatural. Speaking of Jensen Ackles, and I'm like, dude, I missed it somewhere along the way, and now it's like 15 seasons. Where do I even like to go back and commit to that? Like, how do you even do it? It feels so daunting, and I know I'd love it. I know he's right. I know he'd love it. So I do appreciate this with The Boys kind of doing that. It just happened to fall where we just had this content avalanche and you're watching all these great shows at once. This is a new golden age of television, right? Golden age of streaming television. Because all these shows are just like hitting it out of the park to the point where we're talking about Lucasfilm and Marvel are the ones struggling, but these other shows are just putting them into the stratosphere, and they got all these big budgeted shows that just can't pull it off. But then these brands that kind of came out of nowhere are slipping into the zeitgeist. And I mean, I'm getting ads for Duffer Brothers, how to make monster finales and how to make for their master classes now that are popping in there, because it was masterful. And I feel like The Boys are doing that too. Like really out of nowhere. We're to the point like I was not feeling, oh man, that was so good on the finale of the shows that we were talking about, all the Star Wars shows. I weren't feeling that. Remember we stayed up for Boba Fett and we were so beat up after that emotionally.
That first wave of Disney Plus content, I mean, they really benefited from the pandy, because like people were so starved for content.
Yeah.
And they were putting out these shows that were only half finished.
Yeah, and they worked, because I still got warm feelings thinking about Wanda, because I guess you never forget your first. That was The Mandalorian and WandaVision were the ones that kicked off Disney Plus. But where do you think The Boys are, to jump back in there, where do you think The Boys are going? Like, I don't even know how many seasons they got. How many more seasons of The Boys would you want?
I think I could use 2 with this main cast, but I think there's room to do spin-offs and
yeah,
whatever, have it keep going. because they've built the world. So, and I'm sure they've got spinoffs coming, right? But I think
They already got one. I haven't watched it though. The Boys Diabolical.
That's the cartoon, though, right?
Yeah.
I'd like to see 2 more seasons with this cast. Solid episode, good solid 16 episodes. I think would be good. A good capper, maybe a couple of. I would like to. You know what I do like about the Stranger Things stuff. I think these shows should have a 2-hour finale.
Yeah.
I like the idea of a 2-hour finale, and I was kind of hoping that the Boys would have had an extra long finale.
Yeah, I could see that.
Even like an hour and 20 minutes, like one of those supersized episodes.
It does
right?
work. Well, yeah, we've always kind of grown to expect that on the finales to go out with a big bang. You just can't discount.
Can I just point out something right now, real quick? I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
go for
I'm about to hijack the conversation because something scrolled through on Twitter.
Yep.
Did you know Mickey Rourke looks like Val Kilmer now?
I think I have seen that. But let's throw it up there. Speaking of heroes, we got one of the Batmen versus. Oh my God,
Mickey Rourke looks like '80s Val Kilmer now.
wow.
That's interesting.
What was it about him that he had? He thought he looked too good, and he that's why he got into boxing and then just beat up his face.
That's not a thing.
I don't know. I know there's, and again, I don't know if that's just legend and folklore.
I wish we could post this on Facebook and have it identify, where it does the things like you look like this celebrity, and I wonder if it would say you look like
Yeah,
Val Kilmer.
man, he would. So we have, the other dude, isn't that? That guy gets a lot of heat, right?
That's Pierce Morgan.
Yeah, what? I don't know. I just know every time I see stuff with him that it's not good.
Yeah, he's like a shock jock news guy.
Oh, okay. Who thought? Remember when shock jocks used to look like Howard Stern, and now they look like that? When the hell did that happen?
They're like Tucker Carlson, right?
Yeah.
They're just wearing a bow tie.
Yeah, like these are the heels now. Like what the hell? I guess that's a whole nother topic.
Even like Morton Downey Jr. Remember him?
Oh yeah.
He was a heel, and he kind of had like a rough persona. He wasn't like a Harvard guy.
No, he was a big smoker though. I used to watch that on WOR. That was he also made an appearance at WrestleMania 5, and he was in the returning Roddy Piper in Piper's Pit, and he kept blowing smoke in Roddy Piper's face, and Piper's like, "Yo, Mr. Downey," and he hit him in the face with a fire extinguisher. But how many of these guys are doing that for their gimmick? Like Morton Downey Jr. was doing that. Yeah, that was somewhat of his personality, but it was also his gimmick. Like I read somewhere that Alex Jones isn't really as paranoid as he said, that he just does it to keep his brand. I don't believe that, but I read that somewhere.
Well, I mean, you got to do it to a certain extent.
Right, you got to keep.
Once your gimmick gets over, you got to commit.
Man,
You have to. And you have to do it in public, and you've got to do it online.
Yeah, and because he's got sponsors that he has to answer to. It's funny that, considering what his gimmick is, he has sponsors he needs to, like those what are those MREs are not going to sell themselves.
I don't think those are sponsors. Those are his products.
Oh, they're his products?
That's all Alex Jones branded stuff that he sells. I don't think he's actually and if it's a sponsor, it's a worked sponsor. It's like these MREs.
So?
Yeah, these whatever it is, these vitamins or vitality pills or whatever, MREs. It's probably some sort of like side business.
Ties back to him.
Yeah.
I tell you, whether you're a fan of his or not a fan of his podcast with Joe Rogan is one of the best podcasts in history. In history of all podcasts ever. That one is up there because
he's done it a couple times, hasn't he?
Yeah. But it was the one when they were smoking and they were drinking and it went on for like 4.5 hours. It was unreal. It was just like I've never heard anything like that before or since then with that type of podcast.
My brother saw him once at a comedy club.
Really?
And he was literally just on stage. He said he's on stage just doing his gimmick.
Oh yeah, and it would work, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's not even like telling jokes, but he's just doing his gimmick.
This is my Mario. This is a spoken word. Oh, we should do. Oh, I gotta find this.
What are you looking up?
So we did it. It would have been better if I found it earlier, because when we were talking about TikTok trends. But there was one for him. So you saw the one where they basically took the words when he basically threatened to eat his neighbors. He said if it all went down, he would eat you. I would eat your ass. And they turned it into Eat Your Ass song.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, man. Well, let me see if this one... Let me make sure we can...
When a close-up cam.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure we can play it first, but I think we can. All right. Because obviously it's not us. All right, here we go. How catchy is this freaking song, unfortunately?
And I'll tell you what. I would bet of a good amount of money that's probably made by him.
You think?
Yeah.
They just take some of his stuff and put the memes.
He generally puts out calls on his show asking for folks, like he has contests all the time asking folks to make videos.
Oh, wow.
And you do that kind of stuff, it's making fun of him and it's burying him, but it also just increases his awareness. And plus, as it is, he's like banned from certain sites.
Yeah. So it keeps him on there.
Yeah. No, maybe I'm being a conspiracy theorist now.
Man, well...
But I mean, this is just... that's how you get big as he is. You're just playing all the angles.
That was Howard Stern. Remember in the movie? The ratings are high. It's just like the people want to see him because they want to see what he says. And but no, the ratings are higher with the people who don't like him. Like, why? Because they want to hear what he says. It's the same thing. I guess they're just going for these reactions, and somehow it elevated into something that's a little bit dirtier. Because again, when you get to the point where people can't tell the difference between a news show and an entertainment show, that's dangerous.
Well, we're there.
Yeah, we're there.
They don't tell you in school.
No.
Does school ever say? The school doesn't ever explain what TV is? No. You just have to learn on your own that it's this box that shoots shows at you.
But here's what's worse. I think it's the older generation that's struggling with this, because the boomer generation, we're Xers, right? Gen X, I don't know. I never checked. But they struggle because they're like, I saw that in the news. That means it's legitimate. And you're like, no, that doesn't mean that anymore. Like they passed a law, right? That it doesn't even, like you don't even have to fact check anymore. I think what should be required viewing? Shout out to The Last Drive-In. That last episode of The Last Drive-In, when he pulled up the BS meter and he explained all the differences on people doing research. Do you remember that segment?
Oh yeah, that's a great segment.
Oh man, that should be shown in all schools. Well, actually, it should be shown in like wherever these contemporary adults hang out. That should be required viewing to explain it, because I feel like that's how I would have to explain to my parents if they were still around. Like, this is not news. News doesn't exist anymore. There's no such thing as Walter Cronkite. Anybody can do this. You and I could all of a sudden say we're the Dos Incredibles News Network, and we can start clipping stuff out there and sending it out there. There's going to be some people that are going to think that, oh, yeah, I saw that because I watched those guys.
And also, you can make news by just talking about other news. So you don't even have to create the news. You just say, somebody else is reporting that this happened. What do you think? And we'll just talk about it.
Yeah, and now it's news.
And now it's become the news.
Oh, God. That's terrifying. But you're right. We're there.
So, Yeah.
I don't know how we got that. Maybe we need a beer after that. I think we need a drink after that.
Yeah, okay. I was about to
drink.
say I'm getting pretty thirsty. I
Yeah,
think
let's
it's
get a
time
drink.
for what time is it?
It is time for DINN, Dose Incredible News Network. It's time for Modelo Monday.
You gotta grab them.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
All right, hold on, have the microphones on. I've got 3 flavors in there. Why don't you grab them all, and we can at least discuss it. What do you think?
It's like seeing old friends.
Yeah, we haven't had Modelo in a while.
Yeah, we haven't had Modelos in a while. Let me put them up here. And coincidentally, you got 2 of my 3 faves. They're a little snug in there. They're a little snug. Let's see if I can just do this. Try to get a little bit more in there. Boom.
Which one you going for?
Oh, I gotta go with my friend. I gotta go with the Pina Picante. That's my go-to. So yeah, I like the mango and chile too, but my favorites were the naranja and the Pina, for sure. So just for old time's sake, which one do you want?
You know what? I think I'm going to go with the Modelo Negro today.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a good follow-up to the chips
Oh, okay. Good call.
for me. And you know what? I'll come grab it. Let's just
You wanna
leave it
grab
in.
the
Let's
can?
just leave that in the close-up shot.
All right. If you want to do the Stone Cold, you can do the Stone Cold beer throw. All right. I'm glad you finally told me this trick.
What's that?
I'm glad you finally told me this trick. This is so much easier, and it's not in my face. The other time, I just felt like,
You don't have it marked on your desk.
yeah, I was just like, I never knew this is all I had to do. Every other time, I was awkwardly trying to do that, like literally trying to put on glasses in the dark.
The stickers
all
on
I
the
do.
desk are direction
Yeah,
to where to set stuff.
yeah, that did make sense. But this works because then we can do this.
That's a great thumbnail. We're gonna. Oh,
Yeah.
you should have held all 3.
Oh yeah, we could do the double.
Do the double. There you go. Yeah, that's a great thumbnail. That'll work.
All right. So I will do a pop top, but we know this top pops like no top pops. All right, all right, all right, all right. Senor Pancho. Now it kind of looks like he's pointing at the beer.
Oh wait, that's another great thumbnail. We should just do an entire episode of just making
Like he's
thumbnails.
making thumbnails.
I rotate the can the other way. There you go. Look at that. Now,
Yeah, that-
now you point at Poncho. Maybe get behind the glass a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Now it just looks like a random finger.
There you go. You just had it.
There we go.
Thumb down just slightly.
There's the thumb.
That's pretty good. All right, there you go. See, awesome thumbnail.
Because the top pops don't stop. All right, salute. Cheers. Cheers, JJ. This is, I wish, yeah, while we're drinking beer, let's give JJ a huge shout out. Because like you said, I think he ran our numbers up. We didn't know we had a ringer. And we
Big time.
Yeah, we got to get him
Big
back
time.
in there. That he birthed an entire YouTube playlist of Why Aren't You Watching? And then I feel like now we're talking about, when we have people on here, they by default now have to come on with 5 shows that you might not have heard of that are called Why Aren't You Watching?
Bring 10 topics.
Yeah, that's how you bring your own topics.
But yes, ever since JJ's been on, we've had over 70,000 views.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our biggest videos ever.
Yeah, they're all attached to you. So shout out. This Modelo is for you. But yeah, next time we will have a Modelo. I don't remember what beer we drank when you were here, but Modelo was kind of like dancing like the JJ rub. That's it.
I can't get over how much Mickey Rourke looks like Val Kilmer now.
Were you here when? Did you go to see Val Kilmer when he was at the Old West Town?
No, I didn't.
Here where he played.
I didn't know, and I might have gone. I didn't know he was sick back then. I remember when it happened.
Yeah.
Can I just say that just remind Alamo does like so many great events. They used to do like even some more amazing events. I think before they became a corporation, they used to do a lot more risky stuff.
Yeah.
Like slaughter a pig in the middle of the in front of the movie theater and like actually cook it and feed it to people. You know?
Yeah.
Like they used the pig. It's not like they just killed it and threw it there, but it was an actual real life full size pig that they killed and served freshly cooked. But anyway,
was that for forgetting Sarah Marshall? Because that's when I did it. Petey.
It was one of the Fantastic Fest events. I don't know which one it was, but they did an event, and we've talked about this before, but I'll just talk about it again because I would have loved to have gone to this. But they did a Dawn of the Dead at the mall.
Oh,
did I show you this video?
No.
They did Dawn of the Dead at the mall, and you actually rode a bus. But they used to have the abandoned mall here in Austin.
Yeah.
I think it's a school now, which is good. Good use of mall space.
Yeah.
But like, you rode a bus to the mall, to the screening, and as you got off the bus, they had actors and cosplayers, and they did a whole storyline of like escaping off the bus and running into the mall and taking refuge in the mall while the zombies are trying to get in.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, you did that?
I didn't do it.
Oh,
I would have liked to have done that. And had I known it was going to be so cool at the time, I should have just shelled out for it. But it was just because now everything Alamo big kind of sells out fast.
Yeah.
But they were just doing these events that were so creative and low key under the radar.
I feel like after Jaws on the Water, they really haven't done much else. I feel like maybe they thought, how do we top this?
I mean, what's the top? You just kind of sit in the water and watch Jaws.
Yeah.
It's not that innovative, if you ask me. But, I mean, I think they franchised that out. Now they can just sell their Jaws on the Water gimmick.
They
to
do,
other
right?
places.
Yeah, the year I went, they just had the old tires, but now you can get, they're literally branded tubes that say Jaws on the Water with like fake teeth marks in it. Did you do it? Did you go do Jaws on the Water?
I never did Jaws on the Water, no.
No?
Are you into it?
I did it.
I mean, I know you're into Jaws, but like, is it... Have you gone multiple times?
I only did once. Well, actually, I went the second year they did it or the third year they did it, and they did it in San Marcos, and it was okay. I mean, like you said, in the end, it was more like you're still just floating in the water. And after a while, you're kind of like, is this kind of nasty? So I think sitting on the beach was the play. But the next year they did it, it was for the Shallows, not for Jaws. Remember the Shallows with Blake Lively?
Oh, yeah. So any shark movie now.
Fantastic. That was great because there wasn't... But before that, there was just Jaws and Deep Blue Sea, right? But the Shallows gave you that feeling of, wow, this is good. But then after that, and then they released it like every year, you know, for Shark Week. But they went to do it. All right. Maybe I should tell the story. No.
Tell the story.
So the first year we went to do Jaws in the Water, it was in San Marcos at the water ski set, like right off of 35. You know what I'm talking about? They sell the water skis, but they also have the ramps and stuff. So you can see. Yeah, so we did that. The next year, like, we're going to do it closer to Austin. And it was some place that I'd never even heard of. And then I went driving, and it was like we started getting deeper and deeper in the woods. And I was like, are we sure this is where they're doing it? And I was like, I swear this is where it said it on here. It said the Shallows. Here it is. And then they had like all these homemade, and it was literally like that movie Haunt. Like we were getting lured into like, yeah, you're going to watch this movie Jaws on the Water, and then we're going to get eaten by something in the water. And we go to show up. We're the only ones there, like completely empty farmland. Very much like Clark Griswold. First one's here. Oh, great. We're going to get it. So we get to go in there, and like he looked like just a stereotypical ranch hand, like somebody that would be working on a ranch and he had no idea who he was.
And he was having his own Jaws on the water?
Yeah, and he came walking up and he's like wondering where we were. And I'm like, where do you park? He's like, well, why are you here? I was like, we're here to see The Shallows, the movie on the water. And what I remembered him, he was eating his sandwich. It was a bologna sandwich, but what he was doing was he was crumbling it into balls. And then he was like eating it like that. And I'm like, this is how horror movies start. And then he's like, well, park over here. And I'm like, that looks like that mud is going to sink. And then he walks over and he stands in the mud and he literally starts sinking. He's like, yeah, don't park over here. And I'm like, well, are they even showing the movie? He's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, do you have a plot of water? And I was like, this guy, I think this is like, we're getting punked.
Where did you buy the tickets?
We bought it on, what's the event thing what do you call the event site where you buy all those, it's not like the movie sites. I can't think of the name of it.
Eventbrite?
Yeah, Eventbrite.
So, because anybody can make an Eventbrite, I think.
Yeah.
So, did you end up seeing the movie?
Yeah, at Cinemark after we're like, there's no movie that's going to show here. So finally he goes back there. He goes to call and he's like, and he's talking to somebody and he's like, yeah, it's just too muddy. We're not going to show the movie. It's just like, why didn't anybody tell us that? So yeah, I ended up going to Eventbrite. They gave me the refund. And I caught the next showing of The Shallows at Cinemark Stonehill at like just the regular plain old theater to do it. But it was so bizarre that you're right. I did not know that anybody can make an Eventbrite, but I did want to see The Shallow.
Here, check this out. Look, here's this thing that I was talking about. I don't know if we'll get popped for this.
Right now,
I'll turn the volume down. So it was a drive. They drove out to the mall on these buses, and they got
Wait,
there.
George Romero was there?
Yeah. Because it was a dawn. They get there on the buses, and the zombies are like attacking the bus here, and it's all a shoot.
Harry Knowles.
They got guts, and see, Alamo would never do guts like that in an event anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's like Alamo Drafthouse music. That's George Romero music, better turn down. But anyway, yeah, so they get into the mall. This dude cosplaying as...
Wow. What year was this?
This was, I don't know.
Early 2000s, right?
Early 2000s had to be before, like, the Mondo. So Mondo just got bought by Funko. And there's Lars, who does the AFS screenings now.
Oh, that was... Oh, yeah, that was...
But yeah, they did this screening here at the abandoned
Oh, yeah,
mall.
Lars looks... Yeah, he looks a little younger there.
And there's George Romero was there. There's the OG poster. Anyway, that looks like it would have been
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't feel like they would do that anymore.
No.
And this is why we got to have our own venue. So we would do this stuff. But a lot of the movies that were, you have to, the deep cuts, right? The deep cuts on some of these movies. Now I feel like a lot more people know about Dawn of the Dead, where 10 years ago, I think you had to be a little bit more hardcore just to know some of these. You think that's true?
Well, I mean, I think, a lot of
Is
things...
counterculture becoming pop culture?
I think old movies are becoming pop culture.
Yeah.
And, with like Blu-ray releases of old movies, a lot of more people are finding them. I remember the first time I saw a release of Evil Dead 2, and I was like, what? I can buy this movie now? And then, of course, they released it like 45 times after that.
Yeah, since then. I still feel like there's a whole wealth of old movies that a lot of people do not know about it. And again, that's why, bless you for showing us The Last Drive-In, because that's where I feel like you find all those movies. Like, I can't believe we're finally seeing this again. Like Class of '84, when they showed that on there, I thought maybe this was a Long Island Television movie. Like, no, other people know about this? I feel like there's a whole wealth of movies. I want to have a Scott Baio night before he kind of flipped out and went political. He used to be like the 80s Horn Dog movie, right?
Yeah.
We just have zapped and zapped again.
That's another one you can't really... that's inappropriate.
Yeah, you
Very
can't.
inappropriate. That movie's way inappropriate. Several 80s movies, and especially comedies, have all turned out to be pretty...
Crimes.
Yeah, they're all... Sex Crimes, the movie.
Now there's your 80s movie title.
Revenge of the Sex Crimes.
Revenge of the Sex Crimes, the movie. Oh man, that would be good. So, should we? Are you gonna pop the? I'm only gonna do one tonight, so I don't know if you want to pop the other one. I just threw it in the frame behind us, so it's still kind of showing.
I'm
up.
good right now. Maybe I'll revisit it later. But
Yeah, all right, I'm good. Want to jump to a sponsor real quick?
yeah,
Get our bearings, and we'll BRB because I want to jump into this. We were talking about all this India cinema, and then I'm like, do they make horror movies? Because I don't know any famous India horror movies, and then we found some.
we found a list that we can read.
Yes, we found a list, and we're going to read it after a word from our sponsors.
Now, get Tuesday rentals on all new releases at Rogers Video.
Hi, Video Sam's got exciting news for you. You can now rent a video overnight and hire these great movies from only 99 cents. But the best news is that by purchasing our special package plan, you can have this VCR absolutely free. Ring now, 892-3311 for details of this amazing offer. You could have a video at home tonight. Remember, 892-3311. Video Sam's libraries are convenient to you.
Movie tonight on video. Movie tonight on video.
You can rent a video player, too. There's a store near you, sweetheart.
Movie tonight on video.
They're helpful and friendly with films for the whole family.
Movie tonight.
Want a beer? Mm-hmm. You know, this is really an interesting six-pack. See how it's completely covered? See the ends? Covered. Mm-hmm. That so light won't get in. Light can spoil beer. Mm-hmm. And this is good beer, so they don't want light messing around with it.
Well, in that case, why don't we turn off the lights?
Where are you going? To get a Stroh's. That's about a 200-mile hike through heavy snow. I know. If you think of it, get two. From one beer lover to another Stroh's.
I don't know what to do. What would you do if you were me? America's got this beer. It's called Stroh's Light. And it's fire brewed. You know, it's not like any other beer. So I call the State Department and say, let's make a trade. Our cigars for your Stroh's Light. They say, Fidel, you're going to have to forget about it.
It's not the same as other lights. It's fire-brewed Stroh's Light.
We're only 90 miles away. We can't even get a decent beer.
Fidel, you're going to have to forget about it.
I hit the wrong button. Damn it. Okay.
That was good. All right. That's still shout out to our friends at Stroh's. Fire brewed, but man.
Stroh's is fire brewed.
It is
fire
brewed.
That's why it's
for bros.
For bros.
Stroh's are for bros. But this is Modelo Monday. And man, this Pina Picante, it is just hitting. We got the snacks. We got the drink. And we're going to use this opportunity to talk about, so, you know, we've been really diving in deeper into India film culture, which we knew was always there, but we only knew like a fraction of it was there. But I don't know, there was one thing that was just sticking with me. We've seen, you know, the horror genre from, you know, Japanese cinema. We know the horror genre from Italian cinema, And now we're hearing all this great stuff about India cinema, but I'm like, do they have horror? Like, what's their big horror movies? Because I don't care what anyone says. Horror is subjective to the type of culture that you live in. And sometimes it's not going to translate. Sometimes it will make the jump. Like you'll see the influence of Italian horror, or you'll see all of a sudden these Japanese horror remakes because it was just strictly visuals. But I was curious on what it would be for India horror movies. Do you know of any India horror movies?
I've heard of some on some Netflix recommendations, but I haven't really dived in yet. Like I've got several Indian movies on my queue now. It's just that whole thing. They're long. They run long in general. So I haven't pulled the trigger on another yet. But yeah, you sent me that list from ScreenRant.
ScreenRant. I love ScreenRant. A lot of the stuff.
ScreenRant's the one that's always like he drops your mom jokes.
No, that's Screen Crush.
Oh, that's Screen Crush. Okay,
yeah.
ScreenRant's
Ryan Airy. Shout out to him if you need your Easter eggs. Although, heavy spoilers is right up there too. Great stuff. But no, ScreenRant is anytime you see anything that pops up on our Twitter stream that says Quentin Tarantino's list, I usually get it from ScreenRant, or like the things about Lost that you need to know. So ironically, when I went digging around from ScreenRant, I found 10 best Indian horror movies of all time ranked, and they had me at all time. From old school haunted house stories to freaky telenovelas. And I didn't know telenovelas aren't horror. Isn't that the soap operas that my grandmother used to watch?
They have horror elements from time to time. They got ghosts and murders.
You're right. That's true. They do have the ghost in there because they had dark shadows type thing. So yeah, you're right.
People get possessed and stuff,
So, okay, yeah, I buy that. I stand corrected. The freaky telenovelas that act out the future, these are the best and scariest Indian horror movies. So you want to go through the list? We can't play any of the trailers. We just don't know which ones are going to bite us. So we're going to skip it.
I don't even think without the audio it's going to fly.
Yeah, I said the horror genre transcends borders and languages, which I don't agree with because it has to have very specific visuals to do that, but
everyone's afraid of dying.
Yeah, right.
Which typically horror movies are about the fear of dying.
Yeah, that's true. So you can get it there. So while America and the UK have created some of the greatest horror movies ever made, India has a strong pedigree of horror titles that can stand toe-to-toe with anything found in the Western canon. And I should put this out there so we don't get buried in the comments. I don't know what sector of India cinema this lives in, so I'm going to leave that part out. But there's 10 of them, and there's some big ones. So number 10 on their list is called Pari, P-A-R-I, and it was in 2018. It's the directorial debut of Pros Roy. It's a fun supernatural horror movie about a strange woman who may not be of this world, containing elements of demonic horror. Pari concerns a satanic cult that sexually assaults and impregnates kidnapped women with the offspring of Islamic mythological demon named Ifrit. So this sounds like it's Rosemary's Baby, plural, that they're basically impregnating these captured women to become the vessel of this demon. So I buy that. That sounds scary.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds interesting.
Now, though, it adds a real life element as far as now what happens to kidnapped and trafficked women. Well, sometimes they get kidnapped by cults and get impregnated and have to carry a demon spawn.
Good point, JJ. Do we get dance numbers in these?
Yeah,
I feel kind of gypped if you didn't get a dance number.
And that's the thing. I don't know how. Again, that's why I didn't want to jump in on what sector of India cinema this falls in. It doesn't have it on there, so I don't even want to guess. But that is considered the number 10 scariest India horror movie of all time. Number 9. Well played, ScreenRant, because the number 9 movie is called 9. And it was made in 2019, which ends with the 9. A fun mix of science fiction and horror, 9 also contains some touching elements regarding father-son relationships. The non-title refers to the number of days that a passing comet will disrupt all forms of modern technology, including electricity and phone service. The movie is well shot and filled with some good visual effects, but the real heart of the story lies in the father-son relationship between Dr. Albert Lewis and an 8-year-old son named Adam. So this falls a little bit more into probably sci-fi, but I like the premise.
What are the horror elements again?
So every 9 days, all forms of modern technology, including electricity and phone service, are dead.
Now that is a scary premise. I think
because that could really happen.
I think the premise, if you did a horror movie that was just I lost my phone and played it very realistically, that's a horror movie by itself.
Oh yeah.
I think if Google stops working and folks can't Google anything, that's a horror movie in itself.
Yeah. You said that before too, and I think you're right because
if you have all these things happening all at once, again, no tech. Can you imagine? Like, I'm really interested to see this movie because I would think people are going to lose their minds.
And, I think if you get into the horror elements of this, is there going to be a sector of the world that when you realize all bets were off as far as power and ways to communicate with each other, do we have the purge, the Lord of the Flies moments of just like, we're going to do all this crap while we can, where there's no one there to stop us. Now you start getting into that very scary element of the human of just like, you say you're a good person, but are you really a good person if you're not a good person when no one's watching? So I feel like it feels very sci-fi, but it definitely it could have horror elements in here. So far we see Rosemary's Baby and we see a little bit of,
well, The Purge. I mean, that's very much The Purge.
The Purge. One of the low-key best endings of all time that was so deep and it kind of blew over everyone because it was a remake was The Day the Earth Stood Still. It was a great movie. And even the remake was decent. But the whole thing of just like you have this robot that you show any signs of aggression and it's just going to kill you. But spoiler alert, the way it ends, do you remember The Day the Earth Stood Still?
No, how does that one end?
Do you want the ending? Because it's a pretty powerful one.
I'll take the spoiler, yeah.
So the ending is they convince the aliens that the people are worth saving. And the aliens are like, all right, we'll let you live this time, but you do have to sacrifice something to prove that you are worth saving. And as the aliens left the planet, all sources of power on the planet died. And that was the end.
Really?
Yeah. So I was just like, now let's see how good of a people you really are when you're going to be inconvenienced to the nth degree.
I'm telling you, if HEB shut down, it would turn into Mad Max times around here.
No, HEB is going to save us. I'm not worried about that.
Hey, I need to sidetrack the podcast for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
I realized something the other day. I was watching some Mad Max retrospectives. Mad Max, The Road Warrior?
Yep.
Was released a year or two before Friday the 13th Part 3.
Wait, the original Mad Max?
No, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior.
Oh, The Road Warrior.
Yeah, and it was released like 2 years before, or a year before, Friday the 13th Part 3.
Really?
Yes, and it occurred to me that was the first time we're seeing a hockey mask as sort of a horror mask. Wasn't actually in The Road Warrior.
Oh, with the Lord Humongous character, yeah.
Exactly. So do you think the idea came from that for Friday the 13th Part 3? Like, who would have thought to use a hockey mask prior to that?
You're right. It may have very well come from that. Wow, I did not know that. That's a controversy. We have to search that. Where was that birthed?
The hockey mask?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think
it seems to like I can't think of a time.
Sean S. Cunningham, get him on the phone.
Or whoever was the costume designer for Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
they were like, well, we have this bag that we used before. We've got the shrunken, bad teeth, no hair kind of head. And then maybe the hockey mask was just like there, for something else. Like it wasn't even there to be considered.
It could have been
And
a
Sean
prop just
Cunningham's
laying
with
around.
the hockey mask. That's great.
You know, because if you think about it, when we saw Road Warrior, at least for me, I think the majority of the people who know that franchise know the Road Warrior first and had to go back and realize, do you know this is a sequel to a movie called Mad Max? Like, did you know about Mad Max before the Road Warrior?
Well, in some versions, yeah, because like there is like I think when it first came out, it was just Mad Max 2. It just had the title Mad Max 2.
Yeah, you're right. It did. I just saw it as the Road Warrior.
And I watched the Road Warrior not too long ago, and I put it on while Lucha Lottie was here, and she's not super into old 80s action movies for some ridiculous reason. And, you know, she popped for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was great. I don't know how Beyond Thunderdome, I'd like to go back and rewatch that, but I had no problems with any of the other ones. I'm one of the few that didn't have a problem with Waterworld, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Waterworld's good.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it.
Like, it's legit good.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. Like, it's not even close to bad.
I don't know why people flipped out on it.
Same thing with, like, Cutthroat Island, that pirate movie.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
It's legit good. These are good movies. They all got buried by the hype.
The hype, man. The hype train. All right, let's jump back in our... Yeah, JD said if HEB shuts down, HEB would be the first one on the scene to save the day. Truth. All right, number 8 on the 10 horror movies of all time. India, 1920.
Top 10 Indian horror films.
Top 10 Indian horror films, 1920.
That we are going to watch.
Yes.
And not just read articles about.
Yeah, we're going to have to watch them for sure. 1920, made in 2008. Some of the best period... Oh, it's a period piece. It felt like a period piece. I was like, oh, yes, I recognize that church. That's something that Guillermo del Toro would have used in a movie. Released back in 2008, concerns a married couple who live inside a haunted house. All right. I mean, FX has like 5 different series based on that premise alone, and The House on Haunted Hill. So
this was a franchise starter.
Yeah, and it runs an extravagant 140 minutes, which is enough time to squeeze in a lot of great supernatural-based scares and some interesting character dynamics. It was a huge success in native India and spawned a franchise that encompasses 4 movies. Okay, yeah. Put it on the list. We got this list. Thank you, ScreenRant. Oh, here's an interesting one. This has a good look. This one's called number 7, The House Next Door. These are all modern. These are all pretty modern, and that's interesting to me so far because I wanted to see where it was birthed in India, like how far back it goes. The House Next Door, a paranormal horror movie, which mainly effective scares that have the ability to both startle and unsettle. Following Krish and Lakshmi, a brain surgeon and his wife who grow troubled once a rebellious teenager and her stepmother move in next door. That doesn't necessarily have a completely horror element, right? Unless they're, well, although am I thinking supernatural or paranormal versus just like having crappy neighbors?
Well, if your neighbors are ghosts, that can be really detrimental to your home values.
Oh, yeah. I should have read the rest of the paragraph. A series of disturbing paranormal events accost a teenager, resulting in a battle between good and evil as they attempt to rid the house of their spirits. It's a good old-fashioned ghost story, and it's sure to thrill anyone who enjoys paranormal-based horror. So far, I recognize all the premises. Like, they're solid premise. There's nothing that's like... They're not breaking new ground here. Maybe that's why we haven't had that one big crossover yet.
Look, for a shoot, and I'll just say this, and this is a hot take, but I think American horror is really lagging behind the rest of the world. Now, I haven't seen a lot of these Indian horror films, but you watch stuff from Korea, from Japan, from France. There's stuff that they're just taking more risks. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of horror films out here are out for the jump scares only.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're definitely we've morphed into a jump scare culture and not like a disturbing topic culture. But you know, we see stuff on Shudder that starts to dance with it. But as far we're talking about like the horror, the mainstream horror that goes there.
For the most part, the major release horror, right?
Yeah.
And you got folks like Blumhouse out there doing interesting stuff. But they also got the jump scare films, which are just there. Have you seen like videos where they remove the soundtrack from the jump scare movie? So it's because it's really that the music stab that's making you jump.
Yeah.
And they just
no, I have not seen that.
They just shave the music out, and it's just like nothing happening. You turn and look, and someone is there.
It's just standing there. Well, that's a great idea. But it really does expose like the deep need for some story. Like the jump scare ones are very pluck and chuck tech, right? That you're gonna just go away. It was kind of fun, like an amusement park ride, but it's not gonna be the one that you go back and revisit. That really like haunts you. I think true horror has to slow down, right? You have the jump scare and you have the scary visuals, but what is it about? Like, wasn't the original Salem's Lot, wasn't that like a made for ABC teleseries before it wasn't even actually a theatrical release?
Well, I don't know. Has there ever been a theatrical Salem's Lot? I remember the show.
No. Yeah, no, I think it was just the one that showed on TV. There's going to be they are making the Salem's Lot that comes out this September. But do you remember the scene that I'm talking when they're just like that slow crawl of the vampires crawling to them? Sometimes the horror has to go slow and it builds that tension. And I feel like sometimes that's missing with the fast jump scares.
But are they even fast though? I just feel like the jump scare gimmick is like it's not something that's happening quickly. It's kind of like drawn out.
Yeah.
But then it's just like a pop. Anyway, I'm just saying.
Yeah, like a pop chop.
My point being overall is just that I think U.S. is sort of like getting.
Yeah.
They're just not at the top of the food chain as far as like horror these days.
No, I agree. All right, number 6, Kathandia Koth Anodi, another 2015. It's based on Grandmother's Tales, a very popular piece of literature that is enjoyed since its publication in 1911. It's a collection of folklore stories written by an Assamese poet. It would have proved quite difficult to adapt the book given its legendary status, but through some good filmmaking and innovative reimagining of the classic stories, it's an enticing watch. While not a straightforward horror film, it contains some very difficult subject matter that's sure to disturb and unsettle. Exactly what we were just talking about. Sometimes it's just about the content of just having something deep that's really going to stick with you that you're going to want to talk about afterwards and try to deep dive. So far, these are all post 2015, and I want to see if that continues on the list.
All right, let's see.
Number 5 is Ravening. Amos, another 2019. It debuted at the Tribeca Film Festival, garnering some very strong reviews. All right, so there's one that made the jump. The story follows a content pediatrician who meets a PhD student studying Indian eating habits. The two quickly form a bond and soon begin experimenting with different types of meat. Before long, she develops an obsession with trying human meat. Oh!
This sounds interesting.
I did not see that. It's a grotesque storyline that will satiate even the most critical horror fans, drawing inspiration from the extreme movies of the 80s that were banned for their violence and depraved content matter. I'm in. I didn't hear about this. This debuted at the Tribeca Film Festival.
Yeah, it sounds good. I'm trying to look up where we can watch it.
Yeah. Ravening, but the actual title is Aamis. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I don't want to pretend I do. Amos. Ravening. Ravening? Ravening. Pretty good. All right.
Let's see.
You find it streaming anywhere?
Wow, it looks like it's only streaming on some channel called Movie Saints. That's interesting.
Interesting.
Well, it says you can get it with a Sling Premium subscription. I'm going to have to look it up.
Oh, interesting.
I got a sling.
Yeah, let us know in the comments if you're watching this later on in the future. For all the future viewers, let us know where you can watch some of these horror movies, because maybe we talk to the Shudder curator.
I'd really like to see this last one. So that sounds good.
Yeah. All right, here we go. This is what I'm talking about. This one is from 1949, and it's called Mahal. Often credited as Bollywood's first horror movie, Mahal is worth watching simply for its historical importance. Released back in 1949, the movie stars Ashok Kumar as Hari Shankar, a man who experiences visions and bizarre occurrences inside his new abandoned palace. It draws on the themes of reincarnation while presenting a tantalizing mystery that's filled with both scares and tempting questions. The movie was enormously popular in its native India, turning gothic horror into a popular genre and making him a Hindi cinema icon. So this sounds like it was specific to Bollywood, but I was curious. So there is India horror roots that trace all the way back to at least 1949 at the minimum. It's got a cool picture. It definitely be interesting to watch that. Just like you said, for the history alone. Maybe we just start doing a film class. But then
we have to watch the films.
Yeah, this is the film class.
And then we can teach about them.
Yes. The problem is we have this content avalanche right now.
It's too much. And then how many times did you go to the movies this week?
Yeah, I know.
I went to the movies 3 times this past week.
Yeah, it is a lot to keep up with. And and it used to be in the summer that you legit had to go twice in a weekend just to catch the movie of the week and then the counter programming, because a lot of times you want to see both. So to be able to catch a flick at home, and I was trying desperately to make one night just movie night. I told you that, just to try to keep up. Because even no matter what, you remember the days where you just felt like you saw every movie that came out?
Yeah.
And it's impossible now.
Remember having nothing to rent?
Yeah. It's like, I've seen it all. It's like, you couldn't do that now. Now you spend a time in the list of movies that you haven't seen is so big that you can't keep up.
Plus, you've got all these other forms of content now that they're not even movies or shows, like YouTube.
Yeah, they're competing with.
Even social media kind of competes with that.
It is. Well, because a lot of times if you're watching your movie on your iPad, it's competing with everything on that device, not just the film.
TikTok is also like, it's like watching a show.
Yeah, it's a time gobbler. That's a dangerous time gobbler. Bots. That's right. I said it. All right. The number 3 horror movie of all time in India was in 2003, and it's called Bahoot. It's got a cool shot. That looks good. Taking enormous influence from The Exorcist. It's a worthwhile addition to malevolent. Why can't I say that word?
Malevolent.
Yeah, I can't say it. Demonic possession subgenre, which is its own thing, right? That possession is a subgenre. This one concerns married couple who moved into a haunted apartment and began to experience severe repercussions in the form of Swati's possession. Solid possession-based scares. And she won a Bollywood Movie Award. Okay, so this was Bollywood as well. All right, worth checking out. What's your favorite possession movie?
I mean, it has to be the one everyone loves.
You go back to the OG.
Repossessed with Leslie Nielsen.
Oh, that song. Repossessed. Jesse the Body Ventura, Mean Gene Okerlund were in that.
Were they?
Yeah.
What was their bit?
They were just basically started calling the possession like they were calling a wrestling match.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, Repossessed. That's funny. That's the one you went to. And I remember the wrestling cameo in it. I really like that one that snuck up on us on Shudder.
Which one was that?
The one we watched it last year, about the YouTube guy who did the fake possessions and then he had the real possession that happened to him. Man, it was really good.
Oh, I didn't see that one. You told me about the Cleansing Hour?
The Cleansing Hour. Low key, that was really good. But it really was hard to see. You know what was really a scary addition to the possession fleet of shows? Is go on YouTube and find the 2020 special of a live exorcism, and it was freaky. And because supposedly it had that, I think that was the original My Name is Zach Bagans, because 2020 is like, this is really happening. But possessions, yeah, that possessions get everybody. All right, the number 2 is a very long title. 13B, Fear Has a New Address. So somehow the log line actually became the title of the movie, and that was 2009.
No, the title is 13B.
13B. Fear
Has New Address is like the subtitle.
Oh, got it. Okay. It's a fun
like
little...
13B Electric Boogaloo.
Oh. Monkey Shines, an experiment in fear. That's exactly. That's what I always think of. The film looks fantastic despite its obvious lack of money working wonders. It doesn't really say what it's about, but it sounds like the apartment is. It mixes elements of J-horror with a unique storyline, resulting in an original horror movie that's both horrifying and intellectually challenging.
Well, it says right there, he's a man who watches the future of his family through a telenovela playing exclusively on his television. Well, that sounds interesting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is good stuff in here. Shout out ScreenRant. All right. Are you ready for the number 1 of the top 10 Indian horror movies of all time?
Do it.
I was hoping you'd say it because I don't know how to say it. Toombad.
2018.
Received its premiere at this. Oh, this was a Venice International Film Festival, making its first Indian movie to show at the festival. It speaks to not only the quality of film, but the emergence of Indian horror as a popular genre of film outside the continent. The story concerns the residents of Toombad who go against the orders of the goddess of prosperity and suffering a devastating curse. It's a great Indian film with its roots in the country's tradition that shows off some truly exceptional cinematography and bone-chilling scares, and it's one of the country's greatest horror exports. So there it is. That is the top 10. I was just very curious of the horror movies from different countries like that, because like I said, we've seen J-horror, we're familiar with Italian. I just was not familiar with any Indian horror movie. So I'd like to go through this list. But bad news, our list of films that we need to catch up is growing. And it's growing by the day. So we got to get to the point where let's monetize this so we can make our jobs watching films all day, because it's the only way we're going to ever catch up. Oh, yeah. All right.
I was just I was watching the Maximum Overdrive trailer for a second there. Somehow we said something about Maximum Overdrive earlier and had to pull up the trailer. Have you ever seen the Maximum Overdrive trailer?
I have not seen it in a while. Didn't we? We played it once on here, didn't we?
I don't know if we played it. It's the one where Stephen King is doing like a horror host thing.
Yes.
Anyway.
Where we were watching it, because I just remember the story of him talking about how he was coked out of his mind.
Oh, you can tell in the trailer.
When he was directing that.
You can tell in the
trailer. But like shout out, and now that knowing that his son is taking the mantle like that, that's ballsy, because I mean Stephen King is pretty synonymous since the 70s. He was synonymous with horror, right?
Yeah, basically.
From his book. So to take that mantle, that's big. I mean, this is bigger than what's other father and son directing ones. We had the
Cronenbergs,
the Reitmans, and he's one that I guess he jumped right in, right? He took his dad's franchise and jumped in and did a solid job.
What a great gift. I'm giving you Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Let me see. The director of... Is it David Bowie's son that's a director?
David Bowie's son is a director. He's Duncan Moon or something.
Duncan Moon, yeah. Because did he do Moon?
He did Moon.
Moon was great. And he did the movie with Jake Gyllenhaal that was awesome, right? Didn't he do that one too?
Which one?
Duncan. Sorry, then you got to see us just Googling because we don't have the assistant to say Google that for us so we can keep talking.
Look at this.
It's the one on the train.
Look, here's our video.
Source code.
Source code.
Source code.
Look, retro review for retro. This is a great thumbnail we did.
Yeah, that's an awesome
job.
Do you ever fantasize of dying? Source code, yes.
Source code, yeah. What's the director's name?
I'm trying to make sure, see if that was also Duncan. No. Was that Duncan as well? Is that Duncan Jones?
Duncan Jones?
Yeah, it is Duncan Jones. Okay, Source Code. Source Code is one of the 10 best sci-fi movies in a long, long time. But you know this is right up my alley because it really you start to question reality. But anyway, I don't want to get off to lose our train of thought that he's I guess that's not really a two generations of directing, but I mean you have two generations of entertaining, if you will. But what are some other big father and son directors?
I think we might have named them all.
Coppola's?
Oh yeah,
father-daughter.
Father-daughter.
All right, thank you. We're going to go to the wrap. 11 directors who followed their dads into the filmmaking. Let's see if we can... Oh, man, there's going to be ones that you're going to slap yourself for missing. I wouldn't give Tom Hanks and Colin Hanks, not that one. This one got me. Why did we miss this one? Carl and Rob Reiner. How did we miss that?
Oh, yeah.
How did we miss that one? I don't know. Oh, here's another. Allison Eastwood is a director. Clint's daughter. Did not know that.
If you're an Eastwood kid, you can probably just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You just say, I'm a director. And they're like, of course, here's your chair.
Oh, man, I had no idea. Ivan Reitman directed Meatballs? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was like his first
wow
thing.
And Jason Reitman, yeah, he did Up in the Air, which was great. Yep, Francis, Roman, and Sofia Coppola. Wait, Roman wasn't... I forget. Hayao and Goro Miyazaki. John and Nick Cassavetes. Oh, duh. John and Max Landis.
Oh, yeah.
Forgot about Max Landis.
Wait, is he a direct? Well, I guess he's there.
Yeah, he just direct. Oh no, his son, who was on the tier as a screenwriter, made his directorial debut with Me, Him, Her. But he directed that great love letter to WWE wrestling, right? Of wrestling is why wrestling is not real. Or remember that one he made? It was like uber all over the place for a long time. It went viral. Oh, here's another one. How did we miss? Melvin and Mario von Peebles.
Yep.
There's another one. Yeah, these are great. Directing in the family business for Ridley Scott also had Luke, Jake, and Jordan Scott. Jake directed Kristen Stewart and Welcome to the Rileys. All right, see? So, there was a good chunk. I don't know how we got on that, but I had to know. There was 11 of them. All right, cool. What else we got here? Oh, I think it's time. I guess we end on this one too. We're going to talk about Thor.
Thor, Love and Thunder.
Thunder. Thunder.
Lots of folks got heat with this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of heat with it. I don't remember if I thought you said you were going to have heat with it or I didn't.
I just said I heard the reviews are brutal.
They are. It's pretty divisive.
And I think I watched a couple of reviews before going to see it.
Oh, you did? Oh. Well, I can tell you this is a standalone Thor mythology that it really doesn't barely even touch into any other Marvel films. And I think that is starting to hurt the brand with some of the fans that need the connection now that the connection is there. You noticing that? If there's no connection to other films and you're not pushing the whole narrative forward, I feel like it hurts the film. It didn't hurt the box office. It was the highest grossing Thor and it was like the number 5. It did not hurt the box office, but I feel like when the reviews get bad like that, it's because they're not pushing the entire narrative forward. Like everybody's ready to get through the Infinity Saga and not letting that slow build happen. Because think about it, other than the Guardians of the Galaxy, and they cut them out pretty quick, there was really no connection to any other films in there.
Yeah, I mean...
Any other Thor films. I mean, any other films not named Thor.
So I think... I'm pulling this up. I think we're at the point now... There it is. I think we're at the point now where... We're 30 movies in on Marvel.
Yeah.
30 movies we're in so far. I think this movie, for me, first of all, I just want to say, I don't have heat with this movie. I do not have heat with this movie.
Okay.
I get exactly what it is, where it's coming from. I think if I have one gripe with this movie, it's that they should have let Taika go crazy. This is the same gripe I had with Doctor Strange. I think they had. I think the movie would have been better had they just let them execute their whole vision, rather than it being sort of an augmented version of it.
So it was tame Taika, yeah.
And it was tame Taika. What this felt to me, this felt like it felt like this was tampered with. I felt like this was a movie that was voted on by committee. I think the thing folks are feeling for this movie, it's not making sense. It kind of like is all over the place and it's mostly comedy. I think this is because of the way this is edited together.
Yeah. You know, I was reading somewhere after the fact that the whole Korg being the storyteller was something that they added on way after the fact to kind of give that narrative spine.
There's a couple of scenes in there that seem like they're tacked on.
Yeah.
Like the one scene where that jumped out at me was like when Jane Foster's in the hospital. This is after they get beat up by Gore. Jane's in the hospital and she's walking around, and Valkyrie's there, and Valkyrie's like, "Oh well, sorry I can't come to the battle. I'm injured though." And then it's like, "All right, we'll go battle without you. You get better."
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about when they were just outside.
That feels like a tacked on scene. Was like we just need maybe Valkyrie was supposed to die. I don't know, but like that just felt like a tacked on scene.
Now that you say that, it did feel like it was tacked on. Because they were just sitting inside, like outside, like at a park. They weren't even in the hospital, and they weren't with Jane.
And Tessa Thompson's character Valkyrie just explains why she's not going to the final battle. I'm not going to go.
Yeah, because I'll probably die.
Yeah.
So you need to do this.
Help.
This is how you're going to beat him. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
I think I loved the bit. with Stormbreaker and Stormbreaker being like a jealous girlfriend. I thought that was hilarious. Maybe this was definitely a comedy.
Yeah.
This was a comedy, and it wasn't trying to be much else. I thought the set pieces were pretty good. I love the 80s metal vibe. Maybe 4 Guns N' Roses needle drops is too much. Maybe 4 is too. I feel like 3 would have been just obnoxious enough. 4, I think, puts us into, I've been up for days listening to this Guns N' Roses record. Kind of a vibe. I'm going to put 4 Guns N' Roses needle drops.
Well, that's what it hit me. Then I was like, okay, that's why I think I even texted you. Just like, okay, Queen has Flash Gordon. Now Guns N' Roses has Thor, Love and Thunder. Because it was a lot of needle drops. They definitely... When you think Guns N' Roses now, you're gonna think of this film. I didn't have any heat with. Again, I thought it was just a very solid entry as far as like the story goes. It stays within the Thor mythology. It didn't branch out to like how is Thor going to connect to. They didn't connect this to Doctor Strange. They didn't connect this to anything. Yeah, JJ called it too many needle drops is a problem in modern action movies.
Yeah, I mean, too many needle drops in general. We're getting really pretty reliant on them now, Especially in Marvel, ever since James Gunn, hit it big with the Guardians of the Galaxy needle drops.
Yeah.
Now they got to put them in everything, and it's a cheap pop. You know, you just shell out the cash for that needle drop, and the crowd will pop.
Unless it's called Suicide Squad, because remember how much they redid that and added a bunch of songs, and it did not work at all. Because those felt like shoehorned in. Because they weren't organic at all. But again, both post-credit trailer scenes still just connected to Thor. And again, to circle back, do you think that's going to be a problem? That if you're not somehow connecting it to... Here's the heat that people had with Spider-Man No Way Home. They did a false flag mission where they pretended they were connected, but they weren't connected. That's where people not No Way Home. Venom. I mean, Morbin Time. Why do I get my screwed up movies? Morbin Time connected
Morbius.
Morbius connected to No Way Home in a fake way, and that got them heat. Moon Knight didn't connect to anything at all. And it's one of the shows that people are like, because it really didn't push anything forward. Is it going to get to Doctor Strange? So people were upset. Not only did they not show enough multi-universe, but they didn't really connect to anything else. My point is, like, now are people getting impatient because the Infinity Saga, you had the benefit of not knowing what was going to happen. You had no idea that the Infinity Saga was going to lead to Infinity War and Endgame. You didn't even know it was an Infinity Saga. They named it after the fact. So now people are expecting, who is the next Thanos? That's what you always hear, right? It's going to be Kang. Who's the next Thanos? If you're not connecting to that, people are going to be like bummed out because of lack of patience. I mean, aren't we almost all the way through phase 4? And
I don't know. What is this? Are we phase 4? Is it phase 4 now?
I thought this was phase 4, but this also has the disadvantage of this is the first phase that's has TV shows as well as film, which is, I think, if anything that is a success, is that because Wanda got a big pop in Doctor Strange, and I told you in my theater, I went to the nerd showing, and the only one that got a pop when they showed up on the screen was Darcy from WandaVision. They popped.
I mean, I popped for Darcy, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is an issue that I think all the Disney properties are having right now. I think, honestly, and like this was always a given, but somewhere along the lines it changed. Okay, so like TV was always considered a downgrade.
Yeah.
And it was like you were a TV star, but you want to be a movie star. It's like TV star is not good enough. Now we're in the era of like blockbuster shows and like award-winning shows.
Yeah.
So now you've got serious big actors doing these series, But I think that when you take Marvel stuff and Star Wars stuff and you put it in a show, you've immediately downgraded it. And I think it's hard to get that steam back of the film being a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, because Wikipedia Wayne said it there. They don't even have any shows. And you said that too, right? There's no Star Wars shows on the docket.
No movies.
Yeah, no movies. Sorry.
Plenty of shows, no movies on the docket.
Yeah, no movies. So is Marvel going to... I can't see Marvel not having films. But...
They're gonna. It's just that... I don't know that their plan to make it all unified is working out as well as it hoped, because, dude, I just picture it's like Al Pacino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood explaining this, right? It's like they're putting Captain America in a show, right? And like he's fighting because now it's Anthony Mackie. And like they've taken these characters out the movies, put them in a show, having a small adventure, and now the audience sees them as small.
Oh, yeah. I can see that. And they did announce a Captain America 4 film that just right after the Thor drop that got announced, but that's going to tell the tale.
And let me add this. Has a show that was then turned into a movie ever topped the show? I think some people might argue The Simpsons, but I would disagree. I think Simpsons is probably best in like that the early first few seasons. But you've never seen a show that gets turned into a movie, which happens a lot, and then the movie's better than the show.
Wow, you might have nailed it. Yeah, I wouldn't even put Simpsons in there because I felt like that was just an extra long episode that they didn't have to censor that they put in the theater, but you can watch the movie sitting next to the show. So I can see that argument. They never did another Simpsons after that. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know, because I was thinking about, is that where they're leading to with Stranger Things?
No.
Is there any?
If Stranger Things plays at the movies, it won't work. Stranger Things only works because it's 13 hours long.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, well, no, it didn't even get a theatrical release. The Sopranos and the Many Saints of Newark, people hated it. And I guess that was a film and not a series. And I was thinking, it's funny you say that. I was thinking, I wonder if that would have been better if they would have just had a 6-episode limited series.
Yeah.
Versus actually showing as it a film. But man, I don't...
Because it would have given folks some time to buy into the characters, you know. It was basically just 2 hours of Easter eggs. I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked Many Saints of Newark, but I think, had it been a limited series, I think it would have been much better.
Okay, I got to pull up a list here. I know we're getting off the Thor thing, but I got to find a list of films based on television programs. Some I didn't hear of. 21 Jump Street, that's different. I feel like that is different. I don't know if I would count that because I did like the 21 Jump Street movies, but tying together as the TV, it doesn't stand against the TV show. A-Team did not.
It was a spoof. That's the thing. The movie was a comedy.
Yeah, it was a spoof.
And JJ says, I wonder if Disney buying the Fox properties messed up with the overall plans. I mean, they have to make room for them now. If you think about it, they have so much crap they got to put in there. Fantastic Four and X-Men, and honestly, Wolverine by himself.
Yeah.
House of Cards.
Did that have a film finisher?
That didn't have a film.
It didn't have. I don't know. I didn't watch that. Yeah, there really is not. There's really not a lot. So you might be right. That's my point. Is I can't find anything to even remotely compete because I would put the Beavis and Butthead movie, Do America. I did watch Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. That's another show, but.
Oh, Lee says it was based on To Catch a Predator. Oh, I see.
Oh, wait, what? Oh, God. I was like, that ricocheted around my head a little bit before I made it. Oh.
I'm just saying, the movie based on the show never. What's the Icarus File? What's that one? Can you Google that one?
No.
Jamie, can you Google that?
I'm not seeing anything. Chips, Charlie's Angels, maybe. No, not even Charlie. Because even when you're right, even when the movie is good, it feels like something different. It doesn't eclipse the show.
Well, usually when it's successful, it's because it's a parody.
Yeah. And I guess Charlie's Angels would fall in the same ballpark as 21 Jump Street.
Oh, here it is, The Icarus File. The Icarus File is a British Cold War spy thriller television series set in 1963. It was broadcast, yada, yada. Oh, it's pretty new. April 22. And there's a movie about this? I don't know. Interesting. I'm gonna look up some more of that.
But speaking of, I'm glad Lee has popped in here.
Movie first with Michael Caine. I see. Gotcha. All right. Well, that's the opposite, right? So I think that movies turned into shows can totally work.
Yeah, I think that.
I think shows turned into movies. Oh, Mission Impossible. Shit. Okay.
But again, Mission Impossible is something different. It doesn't take away from the show.
as a hyper action stunt show.
Yeah, But I don't think it eclipsed it. It just helped extending it and made it another show.
At least saw that show. Well, that's interesting. So this must be a remake of the movie.
But Lee, I got to say, I don't know if you saw Thor, but we were comparing it because we were talking about we want to do a show with Flash Gordon. If you got that same vibe.
We're gonna do the Flash Gordon retro review at some point.
Yeah, we got to throw that on there. Oh, Mike's on there. He said, "Yeah, we did the boys finale in the beginning. Hashtag boys don't cry. Boys don't cry." But yeah, to get back on the Thor chain, because I think we have another segment. We got to dig through and find the films turned into shows and shows turned into film. Because again, I was talking about last week how I would sign up for the series in the movie, but I'd rather see it as a Lost limited TV series so you can really extend it out.
So what do you think? Do you agree that I think when you do a show, it devalues the movie properties? Because I think that's what Marvel and Disney is doing with Star Wars right now, and Star Wars and Marvel. I think they're burying them in a way by putting them on TV.
I'm not sure it's helping. It definitely helps. Oh God, JJ, that was genius. Oh, Police Squad turned into the Naked Gun. Oh man, that's
all right. Well, that's definitely one. But yeah. I will say on that point, that was a failed TV show that they turned into a movie, not a successful TV show they turned into a movie. But yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
JJ wins again.
Yeah, that was JJ can't lose. He's like Parker Lewis, deep cut. But yeah, it took I don't know. We're done with Thor. I don't know if there's anything.
Keep going on Thor. I saw a tweet about Thor, and I thought this kind of encompassed it pretty perfectly. Is like they said, I just saw a movie that was written and directed by cocaine.
You think so? Is he?
It's I mean, it's definitely it's hyper.
It's very hyper.
There's a lot of detail, a lot of wacky effects. It's good. A lot of jokes.
Oh, I thought.
Shit, Star Trek.
Stop.
We didn't even think of Star Trek. Okay, so yeah. Well, yeah. Did the movies outshine the show though? The original show? What do you think?
No. Again, I feel like this is that's an example of they found a way to extend it. I don't think that I still don't think. I think your argument still has some merit. That it still holds some truth, because when there are successes of when you go series to film and they extend it, it just gives it more life. But going from film to small screen after you were such a huge property, I think you're still going to struggle with. But again, we're talking about this is our first foray into this with streaming service, right? When Liam Neeson was saying it best, like when he was trolling everybody, and he was like, "Oh, I would never do television because I felt like that's a small, it always felt like a smaller medium. All the television stars were always trying to work their way up to film." But I think we are seeing the generation when they're trying to gray that area.
They're trying to, but
and it's making some of it, it's not working. It's messy.
I think, I just think that I think that maybe for these bigger action spectacle type of properties like Star Wars and Marvel, putting them on TV is not a good thing. I think that it creates that image in folks' head that this is a TV show, and why would I go see it at the theater? And also, it should be better, but it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Like, you're not getting anything extra for showing up.
And like you said, and maybe the pandies didn't help it, because you can tell that there's something limited about it. You can feel when it's limited. Well, I mean, the Simpsons movie completely make a joke, right? They're like, what idiot would pay to see something in the movie theater that they can stay home and watch for free? But that was also pre-streaming, right? Because now you have to pay for these streaming services. So it's not really watching it for free. It's all pay-per-view now. I was just saying, I thought she wasn't going to make the jump.
Sorry, I was clearing the bath. Yeah, man. I think that, I don't know. That's my take. I think if they were, because right now I can't see them making a Star Wars movie that would be successful. Star Wars is so divisive. It's like the second most divisive thing, the second most divisive topic after like politics.
Yeah.
It's politics and then Star Wars.
And then Star Wars. No, Mike just jumped on. He said we're talking Miss Marvel, Obi-Wan. We're actually started off as a Thor review, but then we started a deep dive into films that get turned into TV series. Can they get turned back into a film? And then we started going in both directions of that. And Lee, good call, because with the Avalanche finally gave me some room to dust off and watch a show I've been watching, and I jumped into Westworld. And man, Westworld is working so well as a television show, but I don't know if it could go back to being a film. But the original Yul Brynner was ahead of its time, but the series is going to blow your mind. And Scream, yeah, that's a good point, Mike. Scream did it, but Scream did it in a different way where they made their television property feel like this is the television version of Scream, not the film version of Scream. Because they did their films, then they created a series, and they went back to the film. But when we did our Scream retrospective, didn't it go back to like remaking Scream 1 as the series, and it was like loosely connected?
Yeah, the series is completely its own thing, right?
Right. But it's still part of the same universe. So maybe that's the lesson that Marvel needs to learn here. Because maybe some of these heroes, because JJ put it best, he's like, no, you'll never get people to pay for a Daredevil movie, no matter how much they love that character. Because Charlie Cox feels like he's going to be like the TV Daredevil. Even though he got a monster pop in Spider-Man, would you pay to see a whole movie with that? With Daredevil?
At this point, no, because he's already been established as a TV character. He's absolutely right. It's the same thing. It's with Martin Schwartz would be saying this to Rick
go out
Dalton.
there and you got all the guns. Lot of killing.
You want to do a TV show and be known as a TV star?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do fucking movies?
Oh man, now
Purge TV. Okay, like I think the second season was good. I didn't like the first season. Second season presented a different premise, which was like the first season was just basically one Purge night in episodes. The second season covered what happened in between two purges that whole year, and like the premise is like one of the storylines is like someone is almost killed in the purge, and they spend the whole period in between purges trying to figure out who it was that tried to kill them.
I didn't see any of them, but I did want to because I feel like it did really well. All right, let's abandon Thor because this is getting too good. Oh, Limitless and Karate Kid. Oh no.
Okay, last thing about Thor is another reason I think it didn't get over is because there's no Hulk in it.
Okay. Hulk. They
had Hulk the whole movie last time.
Yeah,
and this time they got goats.
The buddy cop. All right. Yeah. Cobra Kai the series and Limitless actually the series is good too.
I did not see the Limitless series, but I watch the movie every time it comes on cable.
Yeah, the movie's good. Cobra Kai. Here's the difference now. Can you bring Karate Kid back to the big screen? I think that's what you're saying.
I don't think you can. You can't. Once it's already established as TV, it's there.
There's no going back.
I think so because movies are like got to be cinematic.
Addams Family came close, but they had to turn animated, right?
Let's see what Rob Zombie does with the Munsters.
Oh,
and then this question will finally be answered.
It's all hinging on Rob Zombie. All right, I'm only on the D, so we got Dora Explorer. That's a down. Oh, I did not watch the Downton Abbey. But I feel like it didn't do as good in film as they expected. But maybe I'm wrong. And maybe I just dreamed that. Dukes of Hazzard, I guess that was considered a spoof. So it wouldn't even fall under there. Entourage. Oh, this one hurts my heart. This one hurts my heart because I do love me some Entourage. And for some reason, the film did not succeed. So I think this one is sticking to what you're saying, that it didn't work. It didn't make the transition okay. Were you in Mark for Entourage?
Yeah, the show was great. The show was a lot of fun.
Yeah. People did not dig the movie.
The movie was just an episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I feel like they should have
How do you take a series like that and make it not just an episode?
Three episodes,
Like, I mean,
right?
what about the Sex and the City movies? Those got over?
No, well, the first one did, but the second one completely tanked. Like, completely tanked.
Well, now they're back to TV, right?
Oh, and it's tanking there, and it's tanking, yeah. So I think they're just off the rails. Oh, Fantasy Island's not a good example. That movie was terrible. It should have been good. Imagine Fantasy Island as a horror movie. I did, and then except the writer who wrote it didn't, so it did not work. Rob always wanted Rob Zombie to do a medical show like ER called Heavy Medical. That would be awesome. I can totally see he would get into the body horror.
You could bite from George Miller and call him the Organic Mechanic.
I like that a lot. Yeah, that would be good. Oh, the Flintstones, I don't really think that counts, although hats off to the Jetsons meets the Flintstones.
You know what's wild about Flintstones? They wanted it to get over so bad that they made it twice.
Yeah. It just didn't work.
And like the first time it had John Goodman, and you're like, obviously. And the second time it was like who was even Fred Flintstone?
I don't remember. Was it the guy who does the imitations of John Madden? Or did I dream that?
No, it was like some British guy. Like they got like a British thespian to play Fred Flintstone.
What's the statute of limitations on a crime? If I was to announce a crime here,
I think it's 10 years.
Is it 10 years? Okay, I can't do math, but I used to work at. Oh, they're out of business anyway, so they can't stop me. When I worked at Toys R Us, it was one of the first things I stole. There was the Jetsons meets the Flintstones VHS.
Do you still have it?
Yes, I still have that, and I stole Spooky Sounds.
Didn't you say that was your walkout music?
It was my walkout music. That's why I was like, when I'm a wrestler, I'm gonna be a scary wrestler. I'm gonna use this as my walkout music. So thank you, Toys R Us, R.I.P. I hope I was not responsible for you going.
Well, hopefully they don't hear about it because we got pinged last time for playing Spooky Sounds on Halloween.
Oh, that's right. All right. The Fugitive.
The Fugitive movie was really good.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe there's a lot of them.
Well, no, but you're still talking about a film becoming a show and then going back to film. And
a film becoming a show and then going back to film.
Yeah,
I think is a path that I think is hard to navigate, at least in the eyes of the viewer now. Especially everybody just watches stuff on their phones, so
it's gonna go. Yeah,
what's the difference? There's no difference, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, TV, they're shooting on TV shows and on watching stuff on your phone at movie theaters right now, right? Have you seen the commercial? Like, you're not meant to watch a phone on this size screen. Like, watch it in theaters. Like, they're calling them out. Was there a Gilligan's on? See, okay, this list is a little confusing because these are like made for TV movies. Gilligan's Island, Surviving Gilligan's Island.
I never heard of that one.
The Gong Show movie? What?
Never saw the Gong Show movie.
No, I love the Gong Show.
Look, you think people are going to go to the theater to watch Captain America 4?
No.
Look,
I don't
they
think
kind
they
of
are.
like look. No props to Anthony Mackie. He's a great actor. He's got a lot of stuff going on, but he's like a TV level star, right? He was the sidekick in Captain America. You know?
Yeah.
No offense. So
hey, no offense.
Now that he's been downgraded and got his own TV show, he wasn't even downgraded. The side characters get their own TV shows. That's how it works, right? They do a spin-off. But are they gonna be able to put him in the next Captain America and get people to actually show up for that? I don't know.
Well, is there, and they probably can't justify the budget. Is there a world where they make the I don't want to call it made for TV movie, but made for streaming movie? Like Captain America's like, you want to see the Captain America movie, watch, you get the Disney premium.
I mean, Disney has yet to do that. Well, they're doing that with all their Pixar movies, basically.
Are they? They're
dumping them all on streaming.
Well, yeah, because that last Pixar didn't do, Buzz Lightyear didn't do well, right?
But like, if you think about it, the last few Pixar sort of like whatever feel good movies, they've all been going straight to streaming.
Yeah. So that's going to be troublesome. JJ's, I have a bad feeling that Cap 4 is going to bomb. And I feel like we're on the precipice of our first Marvel bomb that cannot be blamed on the Pandy. Right? Because
which movie are you talking about?
Captain America. Well, I don't know. I feel like we're on the verge.
We might get a Marvel bomb. I mean, I think Eternals was probably their biggest bomb so far.
And that probably, again, they had the whole lockdown and they blamed, and not everyone was coming to theaters yet. And are we going to get that first Marvel? But isn't it really only a bomb if they abandon it after the fact? They haven't abandoned any of their properties yet. Well, I mean, yeah.
And they sort of bring them back in stealth ways.
Yeah, that they still hide. Oh, my brother, Marvel's different. You go to shows to spend more time with the heroes, but the movies live and die by the villain. Absolutely. No heel, no movie. There's no... Hulk Hogan struggled so much in those WWE years when he didn't have a Roddy Piper, when he didn't have that foe. Did Thor... Was it a little bit... Did it feel like you missed Loki in Thor? But now Loki's his own thing.
Well, you missed everybody. You missed Loki. You missed Hulk. He had no support here. He just had the goats.
Screaming goats.
Which was funny, but...
Yeah.
Again, the movie is a straight-up comedy. There's
a lot. There's people giving that movie a lot of heat because it was a comedy. They said it was too jokey. Which it did become a little bit... Was it a little bit weird to be making jokes during the chemo scene?
I mean...
It's a little hard. Isn't it make it a little harder to laugh? Like you had to struggle a little bit to like, should I be laughing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't get that vibe, but I could see people feeling that way.
Because I'm trying to think about like, why did people think that there was too many jokes? I mean, Ragnarok... Did Ragnarok have the same amount of jokes?
I just think it had a cleaner execution. Again, I think somewhere there's a longer cut of this movie that probably makes more sense. Probably plays a little smoother.
I've heard that. I've heard that there is a bigger cut out there.
It feels pretty choppy, like a lot of scenes kind of just thrown together, but I thought the execution of the scenes was good.
Yeah, again, I didn't dislike this movie, but if people were to give their reasons why they didn't like it, it's hard to argue against it. For sure.
And do you wonder, I wonder to Mike's point, is that Taika seems to treat this movie as a victory lap for Ragnarok. Do you think also, I mean, he just won the Oscar too, so he's Oscar-winning director, Taika Waititi. I mean, at that point, stepping on the Thor set, it's like Rocky 3, when Rocky trains in those gyms with the models and the photographers.
Oh, yeah.
And Mickey's like, no, you need to get back to actual training. And Rocky's like, take it easy.
Rock, come on.
Right? And so, he's Oscar-winning Taika Waititi, so he can he's lounging on set.
Yeah.
Maybe. But the thing is, I think the movie would have been better had they just let him execute his full vision and just shown it, whatever. If you're having a tour of directors, let them do what the hell they want, and then just let them take the heat.
Yeah. I don't see why not, because it's not working in the other direction anyway. Here's the thing that really was bothersome to me that I think it hit me. I loved Gore. I feel like they should, like when Gore got ready to fight and when he was send the axe, he was a great heel. And he was almost too good of a heel where if he was in a darker movie, he would have been a darker heel. But Christian Bale, I thought he did a great job. But here it is again. We have another successful villain. He won. The plan worked. He needed to get to eternity and activate his witch, and he did it. They didn't stop him. Now, there was a swerve there at the end where they convinced him to do something otherwise, but he still got the W. He still got his hand raised, just like in Batman the Riddler won. And then we had another one of the somewhat of a baby face turn, because with Gore, didn't you feel like you could appreciate what Gore did when you saw how much of an asshole this guy, that his god that he was praying to was the equivalent of Thomas Wayne in the Joker? You're like, man, he is a dick. That god was a dick. So in a way, you're making Gore somewhat of just like just like, yeah, I can see it, baby. I can even argue in Homelander, somebody threw something at my son and hit him in the chest like that. How can you not react the way Homelander did? So you're having these. If you want them to be heels, they're supposed to do something that breaks the rules that you can't really empathize with. I feel like now we're in that sketch of supervillains on SNL when The Rock made that terrible machine. We won't talk about it, but that's a great segment. But it's just like, well, I'm sorry, did I go too dark? I thought we were supervillains here. Gore was understandable. It's just like, this guy is like, oh no, you're not getting nothing. You're just meant to die, and now you're going to die. And then the Sword's like, yeah, kill this guy. And then you'd be like, okay, yeah, all right. No, now how about you die?
I mean, yeah, I agree.
So I think maybe
I think you could give him more screen time. You got Christian Bale in your movie. Put him in the movie more.
Maybe he should have been killing gods that were trying to do the right thing. Maybe that, because, Valkyrie's like, you're killing innocent gods. And he's like, they're dicks. They're being dicks. They don't care about you. Zeus, did anyone find it even a little bit like off-putting that he was just acting like, did he need to kill, like Thor went for the kill and he killed Zeus.
But he didn't though.
But he didn't, but he didn't know that he didn't, right? He still went for the kill. So that would have been the heel. But then he was like, okay, but you took out Korg, so I got to take you out. Yeah, so I think they could have done a lot more. I wish I would have saw Gore. Yeah, Mike, you're right. That was a little bit of a waste because it had nothing to do with his performance. It had nothing to do with the looks. Oh, Zeus was Satan in original drafts.
Yeah, I mean, like everything with Gore happens too fast. Like they should have they just stretched that out a little more. And again, this comes from the fact that whatever the movie was supposed to be was shortened into this 120-minute whatever movie that they can screen as many times as possible.
Pandy?
What's that?
Pandy again? Are we going back to that's what did it? That's what did it?
No, I'm just saying, like they wanted to shorten the movie to play it as many times as they possibly can.
Oh, I got you. So it had nothing. They just went like, no, that's too long. We'll get double the viewings if we cut it in half.
Exactly.
This really had nothing to do with performances. Everybody performed exactly how they were supposed to be. Jane Foster did. Chris Hemsworth, he did everything he was supposed to do. Even Russell Crowe.
He's doing Bruce Campbell now.
Yeah,
he's doing like if Bruce Campbell was playing Thor, that's what Chris Hemsworth is doing now.
He's totally leaned into that comedy thing, right? When they went back. Did you recognize the cameo for the guy doing the tours at New Asgard? Was
Thor's roommate or something?
Yeah, that was the roommate from that skit. But that's when we first saw that Thor was going to lean into the comedy like that. Is that hurting Thor?
I don't think it's hurting him, but he's definitely a comedic character now. Which, I mean, that's fine. That's a great tone. I just think if you lean too hard into like the buffoonery, you lose some of his shine.
Yeah.
So you gotta still make him look strong. And damn, Chris Hemsworth looks awesome in this movie.
Yeah, they said they didn't.
Are you kidding me? This is like remember when you saw Conan the Barbarian and then you saw Conan the Destroyer, and you're like, holy shit!
Yeah, he doubled his. Yeah, he was look. First thing I thought was like, are you sure he's not filming that WWE biopic yet? Because he's got the 24-inch pythons.
I mean, Hulk Hogan would be over the moon to have fucking
yeah, exactly.
Chris Hemsworth play him. He was never that cut.
Yeah, no way. Nope. Mike said it's going to be interesting how they handle Hercules, since MCU Thor is more like Hercules in the comic book. Yeah, he has the whole, who was like this in the DC, the animated version. They had Aquaman that was kind of playing this same way, where you tell these big boisterous tales of how I did this and how I did that and how I slept with a woman wolf on top of a wolf woman, and like get into the boisterous. And I think that's how Hercules is in the comic book, is what Mike is saying. So yeah, it would be interesting if they lean into that. I was pretty happy with the casting that they got Roy Kent to play Hercules. Roy Kent. I did not expect that. Did you?
I did not. Had no idea, but that's nice.
Yeah. So, but they leaned right into that Thor will return, but they didn't say he was going to return in a film. Do you think they? Let's face it. It's only been out for less than a week, and it's got $300 million. So, what we're talking about here is going to be irrelevant, because it's going to get to minimum $500 million, and it's going to slide through that. People are not going to think that much of it.
Not another Thor movie would have been a great title. Yeah, that would have been awesome. That's exactly right. I mean, it's a spoof. It's at this point, it's spoofing itself. But again, killer soundtrack. I love the 80s aesthetic. I love that Marvel tag at the beginning that was electric guitar. Yeah, I think they should have just let this one breathe a little bit. Okay, and if Taika says the movie's 3.5 hours, we'll let him make his 3.5 hour movie. Look what happened with Snyder Cut.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Just let him do it, and then if you don't like it, blame it on him. It's gonna get over if it's good. Well, no one's ever like. I mean, okay, yes, I do often see movies and be like, that could have been shorter, but when it's a big budget kind of spectacle like this, everybody wants their money's worth. They don't want a 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
2.5 hours minimum. They could have given Taika 30 more minutes. Come on.
I totally agree. I wouldn't have had any issue with that. I mean, I don't feel like there's any movies under 2 hours anymore. So I was surprised that it clocked right in at 2, unless it's a horror movie, which I feel like 90 minutes is a nice sweet spot for the horror movies. It's hard to drag.
All right, sidebar. I did see a really good 90-minute movie. 89 minutes. Now I'm sidetracking off of Thor again. Third time I went to the movies this past week.
What'd you see?
I saw Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
Oh man, yeah.
Have you heard of this?
Oh yeah.
You know what it is?
Mm-hmm.
I'd never seen any of the shorts or anything.
I remember seeing it when my son was in elementary school. Yeah.
Wow, it's great. What a great, like, clever little animated thing. That's why I said Pixar better watch out, because it's done in a really you've seen it. It's like a mock documentary, and it's the Shell getting interviewed, and it's all done as a shoot. But it's really good, and it's like it was. I felt like in the latest Nicolas Cage movie when they're watching Paddington 2 and they're like, it's incredible. It's like one of those. Made me want to be a better man.
What I just out of curiosity, what pulled you in? What pulled you in to see it?
Elvis was sold out.
So you ran into an 80s problem of just like going to the movies like, oh, we got to see something else. We can't go see that one.
Elvis was sold out. I was going to get tickets for Elvis, and then someone at work had mentioned Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. There was plenty of seats for that. I was like, all right. And that's then, awesome. Yeah.
I was really curious when you said you saw it. I can't watch it I think I'll get I think I will get, and judging by what you're saying, I think I would get very emotional knowing that my son now is going to be 18, and then going back to watching that when he's little. I think I would have trouble doing that. Yeah, I'd be bawling.
Oh, and plus in the fact that it's just it's a brutal tearjerker. It's all about living life to the fullest, and not taking for granted what you have now, and not being afraid to risk what you have to move forward. And it's just stupid Shell with sneakers getting filmed talking, but like the way the storyline plays out is so clever, because it's like, it's like a documentarian. He's interviewing Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, finds him in the house, starts doing little videos, starts posting them on YouTube, The YouTube videos get popular. People start coming to Marcel's house. This is a spoiler review, and like harassing them and stuff like that. And it's just done in a very realistic way. Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
JJ, what did he forget? He forgot to say, and that's why you should be watching, because you just made our this week's Why Aren't You Watching Marcel's segment, because that has to be that, because yeah, that's all, because you just describing it the way you are, man. I'm
why
just
aren't you watching Marcel?
Why aren't I watching
Shoes
Marcel
on.
with the shoes? Exactly. But I'm not surprised, and it had the mix of the real world animation. I mean,
It's all real
mix-
world except for the shells,
the
which
shell,
are animated.
right? Yeah, that's totally an official segment. So I already put that. I put it on the note that is our Why Aren't You Watching for the week for sure. So, but I don't know. Again, I know we derailed the second time on Thor. We might still be able to piece something together here, because we still did talk a lot about it. So, final words on Thor. I'm sticking to my original reaction when I walked out of the movie, that I just saw this generation's Flash Gordon music movie with action built in.
Yeah. Had they done it as little more as a shoot and less comedy, I think folks probably be digging it more. But I feel like maybe some of these more serious parts were pulled out.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It feels like this was chopped up last minute. I can see why folks don't like it. I enjoyed it because I think that it tried to delve away from the standard Marvel content, but I think they didn't let them go as far as they wanted to.
No. Yeah, no, and it's more common. Wow, this is, yeah. I think Flash
Did you
Gordon
know Korg was going to be gay? Here's the thing.
I had no idea.
What about this? This was kind of a funny thing. I don't know if you caught this one. Korg's boyfriend is named Dwayne.
Dwayne, yeah.
Dwayne The Rock.
Oh, Dwayne The Rock. No, I did not see that. No, I did not see that coming at all. But again, what was the purpose of, I thought we gave our last word on Thor, but what was the purpose of killing him? Did they save money on special effects by just having him only be a face?
I guess if he's just a face, they don't have to animate the rest of his body.
That had to be it, right?
I mean, folks just like his voice anyway, right?
Yeah, no, they're all in for Taika Waititi voicing anything. So, but yeah, it's a little bit more of a comedy than Flash Gordon, but I would put this in the same vibe of Flash Gordon. Would you call Big Trouble in Little China a comedy?
It's more of an action comedy, less of a comedy than Thor: Love and Thunder for sure.
Less of a comedy, yeah. I think
you got to do those as a shoot. You got to let the humor just come. You can't play them as a comedy.
Yeah, I think they did play it a lot more. They definitely leaned a lot more into the comedy. So, but I'm sticking to it. Again, I still enjoyed it. The needle drops were fine. I loved Jane Foster as the Mighty Thor. I liked the second cut screen to show where they can go with her, because I don't want her to leave the universe. But then again, eventually you got to get to stakes where somebody's going to have to stay gone to keep that emotion. But still a good flick. I think it's going to make its cash back. That we're going to get Thor 5.
We'll get more Thors.
We'll get more Thor.
Real quick before we go, let's do this little gimmick and tell folks why they should subscribe.
Oh, yes, you should like, subscribe, and share, because that helps the YouTube algorithm to help get us out to people like yourselves that enjoy some kayfabe content, culture pops, and horror high spots, because they too might be movie marks and lucha nerds. So by doing this, it'll really help us along our journey.
Okay, is that a show?
That's a show.
That's the end of the show? Okay.
That's a show, yeah.
So we're off next week?
Pinch to Zoom, Jeff. Yes.
TBD next week.
Yeah, we're TBD, because we might do some experiments. So, JJ, we might need to call you in. We might do some experimentation. I will be on Mike's coast. So yeah, if we can pull something off, I will be down. Maybe we can work it out. But we're going to determine that. So stand by. Follow us on all our socials, or hit that notification bell to be notified when we go live.
All right, this has been a
Cool.
successful Modelo Monday.
Yes, Modelo Monday. So we'll end it with a cheers for our OG sponsors, Modelo. All right, thank you guys. Later.